let's go ahead and start. Nothing to it but to do it. And I hope y'all enjoy the ride. Onikakushi. Opening. Demoned Away chapter. Welcome to the world of Higurashi when they cry. The Onikakushi arc will be the opening, inviting you into this world. Sit back, relax, and enjoy life in Hinamizawa to the fullest. The difficulty for this chapter is extremely high, but look, no spoilers, but unless there's something different in this patch, literally, this is just a novel. If there was anything to, like, do, like, choice-wise, I didn't see any of it. But yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Anyway, start. Don't like that. Already. Please do not deplore yourself. Even if the world does not forgive you, I will forgive you. Please do not deplore yourself. Even if you do not forgive the world, I will forgive you. So please, tell me. What will it take for you to forgive me? Frederica Bernkanstel. This is a work of fiction. Any resemblance to actual persons or organizations is entirely coincidental. AD 1983, the early summer of the 58th year of the Showa era. That made it look like I was bleeding. If I was going to be ripped apart anyways, having my body ripped apart would have been far better. I trusted her. No. I still trust her. Even in this very moment, I trust her. But I'm starting to realize I only wanted to trust her because I refused to accept the truth. It was as if I was trying to convince myself in such a silly, sobbing voice. And those tears making a mess of my face. That mechanical, repetitious sound finally stilled, and everything fell silent. I'm gonna adjust the audio a little bit here, just in case. Okay. Alright. Let me try this. Okay. I'm gonna be experimenting with the audio while I figure this out, because I might get a little quiet while Siri's speaking, and I want to make sure the mic picks it up. That's all. I'm also gonna see, maybe turn it up a wee bit for the game audio. Just a wee bit. There we go. Not that it needs much, but I want to make sure it's heard. There we go. I hope I remember these settings to put them back later. Oh, God. Yep. It hit the red. Hopefully it didn't make a peak sound. Alright. I guess we'll find out. Anyway. Back to the story. Only the cry of the cicadas remained. Annoyingly loud. And yet, I felt as if I could still hear her voice. But that's not possible. She's no longer speaking. The only one crying is me. She never cried. Even when she repeated those words over and over, she never expressed any emotion, because there were none to show. If she had no tears to shed for me, then I shouldn't need to shed any for her. And that confirms I need to move my model. Uno moment. No, no, no. Close, close. Inactive window. There we go. Okay. There we go. Unlock it. Gonna scooch it out of the way. this should be fine. It shouldn't be blocking off much of the text box now. There we go. Hold on, let's just... I'm gonna make sure the height was about the same at least. You know what, there's an easier way to do that than clicking and dragging me. Come the fuck on. Arrow keys, baby. Oh fuck, I gotta plug in my keyboard. Damn it. About... no, gotta be careful about the side. Fuck. Okay, hold on. I am a professional. I'm gonna shrink it down a little. And scooch it over. Scooch it on over. Okay, and hopefully this will not be blocking off any more text. If it is, I will adjust again. For now. Sticking with this. Alright. There we go. Hopefully that's good. Hopefully I don't need to adjust it further, but we shall see. And relock. Okay. And also let me plug in my keyboard while it is on my brain so that the battery doesn't die because I've been using it in its wireless mode. Okay. Sorry. Alright. Let me see. Okay. And the plug is right there. There we go. Perfect. Also gonna try to reposition the mic a little bit. That way I don't lean to the right as much. Okay, adjust the monitor position a wee bit though. Alright, there we go. Alright. Back to it. Let me just also push the keyboard back. I don't want to accidentally press it with... Okay, there we go. If she had no tears to shed for me, then I shouldn't need to shed any for her. And why? This pain, my eyes getting moist. Why was this happening? I still wanted to believe I hadn't been split apart. That's enough, right? Inside me, an inner voice whispered gently. My spirit had suffered enough. And countless times, I'd wavered over whether I should just throw the battered thing away. Except, I've stubbornly refused to do that, haven't I? I'd feel better if I just threw it away. Even knowing that, I chose to believe, didn't I? Only I can understand that painful struggle and appreciate it. Hey, me? I've tried more than enough. I'll acknowledge that much. So, isn't it all right to just take the easy way out? Besides, I'm not throwing it away. I'm leaving it behind. With her. Like flowers by a grave. Now then. Calm your nerves. Even though you can't feel your right arm, just lift it up. And with every swing, forget a little more. That kindness made me happy. That adorable smile brought me joy. I liked petting your head. I loved how demure you were. Because this will be the last time. Because when I swing this down, I'll forget. This is my first and last bouquet for you. Perhaps I really did love you. Title card. And welcome to Higurashi. Nope, not watching the opening scene because spoilers. I turned that on for funsies and then I was like, no, I shouldn't. I'll regret it. I enjoyed it, but I'm not gonna share it on stream. Anyway. Okay. Okay, I think the audio should be fine. We'll see. Alright. Somebody has been apologizing for a while now. I wonder what she's apologizing for. It felt wrong to eavesdrop, so I tried to ignore it. It had been a while since I last went to the city. I only returned to attend the funeral of a relative. Even though I've lived there until last month, I found the bustle of the city to be overwhelming. The skyscrapers and the multi-lane roads, the melodious cacophony of the crosswalk. Even the campaign speeches blaring out in front of the station felt nostalgic. The place where I live now isn't nearly as lively. There's only the chirping of locusts and the babbling of brooks, and the cry of the Higurashi, the evening cicadas. Rather than making me feel lonely, that quietness had begun to instill a sense of serenity. There is nothing where I'm living now. I don't just mean there aren't any burger joints. There aren't even vending machines. No music stores, no restaurants, no arcades. An ice cream parlor? No chance. The nearest town has some stuff like that, but it's an hour away by bike. Come to think of it, it wasn't really a big deal. There were music stores and arcades and ice cream parlors where I used to live, but it wasn't like I ever hung out at any of them. I had lived in the city for 10 years and never once been to an ice cream parlor. Should have gone at least once. It's only now that I'm starting to regret that a little. Somebody is still apologizing. Who is she apologizing to? She's apologized so much, so just forgive her already. There's no reason anyone should ever need to apologize so much. I started to feel a bit annoyed at whoever was refusing to forgive her. No matter how bad the mistake, there's nothing that can't be forgiven. There's no such thing as an irreparable mistake. You just need to be more careful next time. She's still apologizing, even now. Then, has she really done something that can't be fixed? I have no idea what she's done, but if it can't be fixed, then it's all the more reason to forgive her. No matter how much she apologizes, nothing will change. But even so, she keeps apologizing in such a heartbreaking voice. Hey, you. The one she's apologizing to. Why don't you just go ahead and forgive her? She's apologizing. Such a pathetic voice. Keiichi, we're almost there. Wake up. I was finally roused from my nap by my father's prodding. It seemed the train had reached its final stop. We'd spent hours riding everything from the bullet train to the local routes. It was hard to believe that the landscape beyond the window and the city I was in half a day ago were in the same country. Half a day ago. It's definitely not America to think that. Ah, boy. Anyway, no. That they were even from the same era. From there, we'd take a car deeper into the mountains. The scenery looks so nice. Past where the dense forest encroaching on the mountain road suddenly opened up. Hold on. I'm still playing with the volume. I apologize. I'm just kind of looking at the meters and want to make sure things are good. Anyway. Past where the dense forest encroaching on the mountain road suddenly opened up. Parallax. There, where I live now. Hinamizawa. And intro. I do have food though, so I do gotta take bite breaks. And then eventually I'll figure out the audio situation. It'll be easier to know once I, you know, like, check the VODs to see how the audio balance levels are. I mean, I would ask y'all, but I don't really have enough viewers right now to ask how audio levels are. And also, we haven't even had any background music to kick in, so it's, kind of hard to tell until that stuff kicks in. What, Tequila, can you tell there are birds chirping in my headset? I think you can tell. Hydration check. Alright. Tequila. Buddy bird. I gotta start reading again, okay? This is why I can't do a job doing audiobook readings. And I've only thought about it recently, but I don't even know if I have a good voice or, you know, reading ability to do so. I guess we're gonna find out now. Alright. Even though we were approaching summer, the morning air still had a frigid bite. Although, in exchange, you could fill your lungs up with crisp, clean air. Flipping open the window, I was greeted with a verdant expanse. Nothing but trees. The neighboring house was far away on the other side. So I was probably the only one enjoying that view and that air. I filled my lungs with another deep breath. Since I started living in Hinamizawa, I learned that even air had its own taste. It really do. And now we have background music, so I can do proper audio comparisons. Alright. I quickly finished getting ready for school and headed downstairs for breakfast. My mother was the only one there. My father was nowhere to be seen. He was probably up working until the early morning. Dad had a rather unconventional job as a painter. Ah, yes, the late-night artist grind. It's such a laid-back profession. Yeah, when you get a job. Get up when you want, sleep when you want, and work when you want. If work ever comes in. I was so jealous. Excuse me. So jealous of that easygoing lifestyle. God damn. So jealous of that easygoing lifestyle. I even wrote for school that I wanted to be a painter when I grew up. Dad was ecstatic about that. It was just because it looked easy. I'd never tell him that, though. Mom laid breakfast out on the table. Seaweed, pickled vegetables, raw egg, and grilled salmon. That's the fucking kind of breakfast y'all have in Japan? Bro, I just get like a bowl of cereal, maybe a bagel. Seaweed, pickled vegetables, that sounds like a lunch. And also, at least y'all have safer eggs, so you can actually eat raw eggs in Japan. I really want to know what that's like at some point. Anyway. Also, grilled salmon. Phenomenal. My mom was such a good cook. It was scary. A perfect, immaculate, ideal breakfast. Do you even have toast? I bet those would go good on toast. Also, that's an anime trope, right? Being late for school, running out with a piece of toast in your mouth? Anyway, unlike my dad, who didn't even know the meaning of the word schedule. My mom never squandered any time or effort. She hummed a little tune as she brought over the miso soup. You get miso soup for breakfast too? God damn! I love miso soup. It seemed like she was in a good mood today. I'm so happy you've been waking up early since we moved here, Keiichi. If I don't get up early, I don't make it in time for your early breakfasts. I thought I was being cute, responding with a wisecrack after being praised for being good. A full bowl of rice, or will half be enough? Pile it on. First, I savored the steaming hot rice with the seaweed. After that, I covered it with the egg. Between bites of rice, I enjoyed the crunch of the pickles. Not bad at all. I'm taking a food bite. Fuck you, Keiichi. My own food is also piled on top of rice. Yummy. There we go. Between bites of rice, I enjoyed the crunch of the pickles. Not bad at all. Excellent, as usual. Watching me clean my plate, my mom gave me a warm smile. I'm so happy you haven't skipped breakfast ever since we moved here, Keiichi. I was not a morning person when we lived in the city. I slept right until the last minute before school and rarely ate breakfast. Boycotting the breakfast Mom made me each morning, that was probably the only way I could protest being forced to attend cram school. I guess that was what you'd call my rebellious phase. I wouldn't so much as look at the breakfast she woke up early every day to make. If I could go back in time, I'd slap myself. Mindful of the time, Mom rushed me along with a wide grin. Isn't it about time to meet up with Rena? I keep wanting to say Rena, but I think it's Rena. I'm pretty sure it's Rena. Anyway, isn't it about time to meet up with Rena-chan? Hurry, hurry. Mom really seemed to enjoy the fact that her son was going to school with a girl. Rena is one of my classmates. She really loves looking after people, coming to meet me every day without fail. The way I looked at it, a guy my age walking to school with a girl was just lame. But, well, keeping a classmate waiting for me every day wouldn't be very considerate. Seriously though, how long does Rena wait there for me every morning? Taking one last gulp of miso soup, I raced for the door. Please thank Rena-chan for the pickles. Come to think of it, those pickles weren't store-bought, were they? If I didn't know that, I would have savored them a bit more. Morning! Keiichi-kun! Good morning! There she is. Her cheerful greeting was as fresh as the morning itself. You're always so early. You should try sleeping in sometime. If I sleep in, I'll keep you waiting. She's so conscientious, and such a good person. If that ever happens, I'll just leave you behind. Keiichi-kun, you're so cold. I wait for you all the time. I'll leave you in the dust, without looking back. Why are you so mean? Why? Rena had a slightly troubled look on her face. Toying with her was rather fun because of how quickly her mood changed. Sounds kind of dickish. I'm kidding. I'd wait for you. With those words, Rena seemed to relax. Her face flushed bright red. Thank you. I'd wait forever until you came, Rena. No matter how long. Forever? Rena turned bright red, steam rising from her head as her brain short-circuited. She's especially weak to this sort of talk. It's quite rare to find someone this fun to tease. Have you ever read a romance novel, Rena? Huh? I haven't. Never read any before. From that response, I gathered she was interested in them, but was too embarrassed to actually buy one. I couldn't imagine what would happen if she did read one. She'd probably turn red and pass out. Oh, yeah, message from Mom. She says thanks for the pickles. It was nothing. You're welcome. How were they? Not too salty? They weren't that salty. Actually, they had a pretty light flavor to them. It would have been fine to just be honest and say they were good, but apparently I couldn't be that forthright. I'd like to ask something before that. Were you the one who pickled them, Rena? Or was it your mom? Huh? Huh? Why do you ask? Were they too salty? Her attitude completely changed as she began to panic frantically. Was it you, Rena, or was it your mom? Why are you asking who made them? Why? Depending on who made them, my opinion of them might change drastically. She counted frantically on her fingers, trying to remember the amount of salt she used to pickle them. It wasn't like I was trying to tease her, but I couldn't stop myself from trying to tease her. The guys who take pleasure in this kind of thing are probably the worst. Guys like me. I'm calling myself out as the worst. Rena nervously opened and closed her mouth over and over, trying to muster a response. It was me. Delicious. Huh? Pretty good, just like the last ones. They went perfectly with the rice. Her face went bright red again. She was completely spacing out. It truly was a lot of fun to tease her. I pray that Rena never gets taken advantage of by some lowlife. Keep at it, Rena. I'll train you until you can handle it like the average person. Or so I decided for myself. Excuse. Let's go. If we keep Mion waiting, we'll never hear the end of it. Seeing as she just keeps spacing out otherwise, I called Rena back to reality so we could make our way to school. This strange, easily flustered girl is... Logitech G-Hub, battery level low. I just plugged it in, it's fine. This strange, easily flustered girl is Rena Ryugu. I've only known her for about a month, but I've come to realize it's not just her name that's strange. I wonder how strange it is in Japanese culture, because this is me. More charge! It's plugged in, you can't get more charge! Also, hi, Rio. Hold on. Maybe if I switch it... Yeah, okay. There we go. I tried switching it to the off mode, so then, like, maybe then it'll actually realize that it's not supposed to spend power. I don't know. Point is, I plugged it in. Hi, hello. How is you, Rio? I'll take this opportunity to grab food. Take a nibble. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Long day just gaming so far. So no complaints. Glad to hear you're doing okay. And of course, as always, thank you for stopping by. Always happy to see you in chat. Alright, hydration check. Tequila says hi. Yum. Alright. Let's see. I've only known her for about a month, but I've come to realize it's not just her name that's strange. Mi-chan! Good morning! Coming up to the next rendezvous point, we saw another person waiting for us. Noticing us, she waved. Ah, finally! You two are late! Usually you're the one who's late. In sharp contrast to the diligent Rena, this one marched to the beat of her own drum. She's Mion Sorozaki. For what it's worth, she's our senior and head of the class. Morning, Rena. It's been a while, K-chan. It feels weird saying that out loud since I have a friend who would call me K-chan. Which, when you say K K-chan the right way. It also sounds like K-chan, so that it throws me off to hear it as I say it. Anyway, how many years? I was only off 2 days. You don't say. You were such a cute little tyke the last time I saw you. Mion's gaze stared at my chest, then dropped straight down, focusing on the— Stop! I am not going to be reading about high schoolers doing that shit. I'm not reading it out loud. No, stop. So she was saying it was my... Wubba-boo that was cuter back then. Before you ask, just to be clear, I've never actually tried to show it to her. Good. But of course, high schoolers gonna high school. I've grown quite splendidly. You'd be surprised. Not only is he bigger, but he has a little mustache. Now, start. I feel weird. Being so... I mean, they're dancing around it, but we still... Being so engorged with energy every morning is quite a problem, though. I'll introduce you next time, so be sure to greet him properly. Don't say next time. Right now is just fine. How about letting the little guy get a breath of fresh morning air? I don't think I've ever heard talk so dirty you could smell it fouling up the morning air before. Right? And yet you're contributing. Mion sure does act like an old man sometimes. Gotcha. Time for the big reveal. I hope you don't regret it. As my hand reached for my fly, Rena began to ramble in a near panic. Oh my, it felt like it looked like her whole body almost turned red. Anyway. Hey, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Red-faced and flustered, Rena tried to play dumb, but it was obvious she knew exactly what we were talking about. I think everybody knows what you're talking about, bro. How was it? Seeing the city again. Mion switched gears, dropping the dirty talk and changing the topic to something more befitting the pleasant morning. I only went for a funeral. I didn't have much time. So, yeah, did you look for it? That thing I asked for? You're not listening. At all. I just came back from a funeral. I didn't have any time to look around in toy stores. Toy stores and hobby shops are completely different, you know? It's really difficult to get Western stuff around here after all. Is this about games again, Mi-chan? Mion nodded proudly as Rena giggled. Yep, I wanted K-chan to bring me back a Westport catalog, you see. Westport was short-term for Western imported games. Using that abbreviation did make it sound pretty geeky. You could just get them to send you one in the mail, can't you? Well, guess I have to now. I'm going to get another game full of hot action. This time, I'd like a game that's easy to understand. That was supposed to be right. That is something... I know I could adjust the setting for it, but this is one that took me a bit to understand. Is since the characters don't like always indicate who is speaking, you kind of have to study. You got to learn how they speak to kind of figure out who's saying what. And yes, I believe there was a setting to make it traditional, like box on the bottom looking, but I got used to this. I learned their ways of speaking eventually. So anyway, that was Rena saying, this time I'd like a game that's easy to understand. Mion is a board and card game enthusiast, and I hear she's collected quite a lot of different ones. According to Rena, Mion's room has kind of become a museum for domestic and foreign games. If there's a game you think I'd understand, let me play too. Of course. If K-chan is up for it. I should warn you though, we're pretty tough. Just what I want. I play all sorts of games. I don't intend to lose. Well, then we'll let you in the group this time, I guess. Bristling with joy from head to toe, Rena looked back and forth between me and Mion. Mion gave her an affirmative wink, and her expression perked up even further. I thought boys preferred playing outside more, so I figured you wouldn't want to. Or maybe that was Rena's. Whatever. Anyway, Rena laughed happily. From such a friendly conversation, you wouldn't think I had moved here less than a month ago. I understood that they did all they could to make a transfer student like me feel at home. I'll have to try harder to fit in, so they won't feel like they have to try to make me feel welcome. I felt as if I acted a bit more openly than I usually am. Should probably be about right for this place. Skewill. Hinamizawa was a really small village. Not only was there only one school, there was only one class. That class encompasses all different grades and ages. There are about 30 students at different levels, and they all study in the same class. I'm told that long ago, there used to be a bigger school building, and they had actual separate classes. However, it seems something happens that made it become a single class, and now it stayed that way out of tradition. I don't know, feels like it could be a plot point in, like, Corpse Party or something. Which is another game I'd like to play at some point. Anyway, I was shocked at first, but humans adapt pretty quickly. I've already gotten quite used to it. The sound of children playing started right from the morning. With such a lively mood, it felt more like a kindergarten than a proper school. Not that that was a bad thing. Mion, who had been walking in front of us up until then, suddenly let me take the lead. Right in front of the classroom door. So I was meant to slide the door open and enter the room first. Heh. Too bad. I wasn't going to fall for that again. To think you'd give up the lead here. You meant for this to be a test of my skills. Mion chucked with a haughty smirk on her face.
What is it, you guys?
Step back, Rena. It's dangerous. She's here.
Huh? Then Satoko-chan is...
Her name was Satoko Hojo. She was a disrespectful, impudent, bossy kid. The way she talks was annoying, but it would be immature to get worked up over just that. The real problem was this. Quite the obvious trap. A blackboard eraser wedged in the door. It's too obvious, Satoko! A haughty laugh came from beyond the door.
Excellent, Kei-chan. I guess that means you win this round?
No, this is Satoko we're talking about. I doubt this is it. After falling for such intricate traps since the day I transferred... Bug on the monitor. I no longer let my guard down. Satoko liked to combine a variety of traps. Traps that were simply there to bait you into the main one. Traps that relentlessly kept coming at you like a sadistic Rube Goldberg machine. The list goes on. As well as being clever, they almost never misfire. When you least expect it, she strikes. No escape, no time to relax. By the looks of it, this eraser is normal. No rocks or anything in it. I took a pretty heavy hit from a blackboard eraser loaded with rocks on my first day. That sounds dangerous. Also adjusting volume slightly. There we go.
So then why don't you just open the door and let it drop?
That's what it is. But, my bad. There we go. That's what Satoko was after. Making me focus my attention upward. So as I lifted my hand to the door, there were thumbtacks stuck to the sliding door handle with tape. A frightening trap. A potent and terrifying trap. Yeah, that could hurt a lot of people, Satoko. What the fuck? Concealed by using the blackboard eraser. An impressive combination, Satoko! But in the end, nothing more than the trivial machinations of a child. Is it machinations or machination? I think it's machinations. Pretty sure. Nothing more than the trivial machinations of a child. Assured of my victory, I threw the door open and stepped into the room. I felt something strange at my ankle. It was similar to the sensation of a jump rope catching on my leg. Ouch. That was cartoony as fuck. By the time I realized she had me, hook, line, and sinker, it was already too late. I began to fall in an almost picturesque manner. K-chan, watch out! Instinctively reacting to Mion's shrill warning, I twisted my body in midair before I landed on the floor, much like a cat. Ow. Ow. Ow! An inkstone filled to the brim was placed right where I would have landed. I shuddered, imagining the situation had I landed square on it.
My, what do we have here? A fair morning to you, Keiichi-san. Aren't we a lively one this morning?
Still sprawled in an awkward position, I was greeted by a mocking voice. That was a step up from your usual trap, Satoko.
I haven't the faintest idea what you mean. You're quite unlucky this morning.
You little... Ow, 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 ow. It seemed I'd inadvertently sprained my back a little when I'd landed. Better than landing on that inkstone. There's the iconic girl right there. She looks off in this style, I'm not gonna lie though. I'm used to her bangs looking a lot more square. Anyway, a small hand gently rubbed my head.
Pain, go away.
The small, dainty hands continued to gently stroke my head.
You didn't sprain your back or anything, did you? If you rub it like this, the pain disappears.
I thought about asking how rubbing my head would help my back, but I didn't. It's not so much about what you actually do, it's the thought that counts. Yeah, thanks, Rika-chan. The pain's going away now.
Yay, Rika-chan, good morning! Good morning to you, Rena. A good morning to all.
Rika-chan greeted each of us with an adorable little bow. It was infectious. Rena, Mion, and I all bowed back. You're such a good kid, Rika-chan. So much better than Satoko. I glared over in her direction. Satoko was whistling while rather deliberately trying to avoid eye contact. I am the very model of a good girl. A good girl wouldn't set those nasty traps. Nothing but lies and slander. Exactly what proof? Ugh. I picked up Satoko by the back of her collar. She looks like a misbehaved cat when I do this. But a cat wouldn't be setting traps. Except maybe my cat sometimes. She's much harder to deal with. I'm sorry. Try saying that. If you won't say it. I cocked my index finger on my thumb, letting it tremble as I brought it closer to Satoko's forehead. I'm against violence! You don't even have any proof! Just so you know, my forehead flick really hurts. It can split plywood right in half. Yeah! Stop! Get away from me, you beast! Don't say that in a way people misunderstand. A small hand tugged at the back of my shirt.
She's been lonely since you were gone for 2 days.
Rika-chan really is just so... How could I do anything more after being told that? I gently released my grip on Satoko, who at this point was on the verge of tears. She still had her eyes clamped shut as she braced herself for the forehead flick. It doesn't bother me.
You mustn't cry, Satoko. Keep on fighting. Yeah.
Rika gently petted the head of her prankster friend. You would never guess those two are the same age. I think Satoko could learn a thing or a thing or a million. I almost said a thing or two just out of, habit of that's how the phrase goes. Anyway, I think Satoko could learn a thing or a million from Rika-chan.
Next time, set an even more amazing trap.
Wait a minute. As she observed the scene, Rena's expression grew ecstatic as she began to swoon.
Oh, Satoko-chan is crying. So cute.
You can't take them home.
But they're so cute.
You can't, no matter how cute they are.
But just for a bit is fine. Is fine.
Rena kept a cutesy face even as outrageous ideas spewed from her mouth. According to Mion, Rena is ridiculously weak to cute things and always tries to take them home. Object or person. Stealing is bad, but abducting people is even worse. Give it up.
Then I can just look. Just looking. That should be fine, right? Right?
Rena swoons over Satoko's crying form. If a girl ever goes missing in Hinamizawa, I'll be forced to turn Rena in to the authorities. Forgive me, Rena. I'll be sure to bring you care packages when they put you away. The teacher's coming. Quickly, clean everything up. Satoko, that inkstone is yours, right? Just from Mion's single statement, the entire mood of the room shifted back to normal. The inkstone was bad, but the thumbtacks stuck to the door handle were an even bigger problem. I pulled the tape off carefully, making sure not to skewer myself. And to make sure nobody else would skewer themselves. Even though Satoko was the one who set it up, everyone had to pick up after her. By the time the teacher entered the room, the bedlam from before had been neatly tidied up. Haha, we made it in time. Rise, attention! Mion gave out the morning commands. Just high school, Japanese high school stuff. It's difficult being the teacher for all these different grades in one classroom. She has to teach something different to each one. But naturally, she ends up spending all her time with the younger kids. Rena and Mion, being in the highest grade in the class, end up mostly doing self-study. They even end up helping teach the younger kids, so it seems like they can never get to their own studies. They're actually way behind where my studies have progressed to. As a result, I'm pretty much taking over for the teacher and helping Rena and Mion with their studies.
You're a pretty good teacher, Keiichi-kun. Easy to understand.
Rena took a breather after finishing highlighting an important section. I gotta be honest, I always hated those assignments where they were like, highlight the important sections, because I was like, isn't all of this important context? Aren't these all? I would just highlight like practically everything. Teaching is making me lose confidence. It makes me aware of how shallow my understanding of the subject is. They say that to teach someone something, you need to understand it backwards and forwards. So, while you're teaching us, you're getting in your own practice. In contrast, this person over here is quite laissez-faire, I hope I said that right, about things. For one, isn't she supposed to be in a higher grade than me? Look. Moth, please. Please. No, no, Moth, get off of my... Moth! I was just assaulted by a moth! What the fuck, Moth? I don't even see where it went. I'm pressing charges. Anyway, look, Mion, this is for your own good. If you don't take this seriously, there'll be trouble later on. With these marks, it's not like I'm aiming to go on to a prestigious school. I'll be fine as long as I pick up what I need to know for the entrance exams a little at a time. Her staunch defiance was really something else. This was a different type of relax than somebody who already knew what was going to be on the entrance exams.
Mi-chan, Keiichi-kun is doing his best to teach us. We need to try hard too.
You're such a good and honest kid, Rena. I'll make sure you guys get accepted into a good school.
What? Thanks so much.
Especially you, Rena. Private lessons. Just the two of us.
Private lessons?
A puff of smoke shaped like a halo popped out of Rena's head. Very anime. Exactly what kind of private lesson is she fantasizing about that's making her turn so red? I don't know. Maybe my tone of voice might have made her think something. Anyway. I'd like to hear the play-by-play of that next time. While Mion was flipping through her vocabulary flashcards, she threw out a casual question. That grumpy face is adorable. So, in the city, do you have to study this much? If you don't know at least this much, you can't get into university. So, you study just to get into a university? Well, yeah, basically. While knowing that this stuff won't ever come in handy in the future. Out here, you can get into university as long as your attendance is good enough. Really? Study equals entrance exams. Having that basic law of the universe so easily overturned sent me into a state of shock. That is right. There aren't really enough people around here to warrant weeding them out with an exam. If anyone can get into university, then there's no need to be all uptight about this stuff, right? Well, that's true, but you should at least know stuff that's common knowledge. This old geezer thinks that instead of wasting time studying pointlessly, you should be spending your precious teen years doing more meaningful things. It was too profound of a statement to simply laugh off. But since it was Mion, it probably didn't actually have that deep of a meaning. In place of a chime, the sound of the principal waving a handbell drifted through the classroom. K-chan, we're done! We're done! It's our wonderful lunchtime. In a complete 180 from her unmotivated state, Mion gave the commands that signaled the end of the morning period.
Keiichi-kun, let's have lunch, Star!
I might have been making a very troubled face. Rena smiled brightly at me. Alright, let's eat. There seemed to be different cliques even within the class. Most of them were divided up by gender and age, but our group was different. Our ages were different, and we both had boys, and we had both boys and girls. But we weren't reserved around each other. This level of openness makes a transfer student like me pretty happy. Rena and Mion pushed their desks together so they were facing each other. At the same time, Satoko and Rika-chan were slowly lugging their desks over as well.
Keiichi-kun, hurry, hurry!
Rena waved her chopsticks in an unrefined manner, trying to hurry me along. Unless everyone was together, they wouldn't even open their lunchboxes.
Keiichi-san's lunchbox is most assuredly filled with nothing but bread crusts like some sort of destitute plebeian.
Plebeian? Plebeian? I think it's plebeian because pleb. Anyway, why don't you just show it to us? Come now. Even though Satoko was hurling insults at me, she still wouldn't open the lid to her lunchbox until I was there. I pulled out my lunchbox swiftly and dragged my chair over to join the circle. Hey, sorry to keep you waiting.
Well then, Representative Me, please give the signal to start.
At first, this was kinda embarrassing, but I got used to it pretty fast. At this point, I probably wouldn't even open my own lunchbox if someone else was too slow. Our ages and genders may have all been different, but we were all friends. I'm trying to remember how to, itadakimasu, I believe is what it is. I'll have to keep it in mind for next time I do this shit. Anyway, let's eat! The sound of our little 5-part chorus echoed beautifully throughout the classroom. Yep, we got CGs! Yes, I installed proper! Let's go. It was actually stupid easy, but anyway. I like having the confirmation. Really though, I've gotten pretty used to this group made up of all girls. Of course, there were other boys in the class, but they were a lot younger, so they were scared to approach me. Well, that's to be expected. Younger boys just see older boys as scary. Compare that to girls, well, at least these girls aren't picky. We put all the side dishes in the middle where everybody was free to pick at them. I thought girls would mind sharing a meal with a guy, so I was a bit flustered joining in. However, Mion noticed that and teased me quite a bit. As the fruit of my efforts, I can now reach over and take sides from anybody's lunch. My, isn't Sir Keiichi's lunch extravagant today? I don't know who said that. My, oh yeah, there we go. My, isn't Madame Satoko's lunch extravagant as well? The stewed stuff has a nice look to it, rather trendy. Buying into the fight that Satoko was starting, our chopsticks locked in a cross counter, stabbing into each other's lunch. My, how delicious. Oh, this taro is so good. The stewed stuff is good too, even cold. After seeing my happy face, Rika-chan's expression broke into a little smile. I saved from dinner from last night. By the way, Satoko and Rika-chan's lunches are always the same. It seems that Rika-chan makes it for both of them every day. Rika-chan made this too? These taste like mom's home cooking. I was honestly impressed. The carrot rosettes weren't from a mold. They were done by hands with a knife. That's not easy to do. I guess Rika-chan's just good at this sort of thing. She's really good at sewing, laundry, and stuff like that. Amazing, right? Amazing. Rika is quite exceptional in many ways. Oh, ho. I wish I knew who was talking. Hold on. That's nothing for you to boast. That's probably Satoko then. Anyway, that's nothing for you to boast about.
Rena's actually better at cooking than I am.
Huh?
Well, you know, Star.
It seemed that the topic of conversation switched to Rena when she wasn't expecting it, making her blush and trip over her words. Rena's lunch really was the star of the table. Not only did it look good, it tasted good. Everyone else pulled from Rena's lunchbox constantly.
Everyone liked this one so much before, so I made a lot this time. It's good. I hope.
It's got high marks for me. Mion, you're taking too much. Knocking Mion's chopsticks aside, I reached out, trying to secure my own portion. Satoko and Rika-chan reached over at the same time, and a struggle ensued. Everyone shoveled in mouthful after mouthful while praising it, and Rena's lunchbox was soon empty. It was kind of bad that no one thought to leave any for Rena. But Rena seemed rather satisfied as she looked on.
How did you like it? Isn't Rena-san an extremely good cook too? Quite different from Keiichi-san.
I said that's nothing for you to boast about.
You're not much different from Kei-chan, Satoko. Can you tell the difference between broccoli and cauliflower yet?
Satoko's face went pale. I believe that answers the question.
Hey, even I can tell the difference between broccoli and cauliflower, you know. Of course I can. I really can.
It's really hard for her to lie.
Keiichi-kun, both taste good when they're boiled and topped with mayo, right? You shouldn't be picking on her. Mi-chan too.
Rena hurriedly tried to follow up, but Mion laughed haughtily as she drew closer to Satoko.
Well, just pretend it's a little home ec lesson.
Now then, Satoko.
What's this?
Mion lifted up her chopsticks. Between them was a piece of green stuff wrapped in bacon.
But that's asparagus.
Mion made eye contact with me, and within 0.3 seconds, I had Rika-chan's mouth covered. Holding a piece of bacon-wrapped asparagus and giving her two choices, she's pretty terrible.
The yellow one is cauliflower. No, wait. The green one is cauliflower. So, which? Probably the yellow one is broccoli and the blue one is cauliflower, but the green one is,
Do you really know which is which? How about you just give it up? How about you just give up? I'd expect no less from the class representative. The oldest. The way she drives people into a corner just shows how much experience she has. This is just a hunch, but being brought into the Sonozaki household must be quite the ordeal.
I do know. I really do.
Then answer the question.
I know.
Sobbing. She finally broke down and started crying. When she acts like this, she usually starts to seem her age.
Cute.
Rena entered a state of euphoria as Satoko bawled her eyes out. Rena was in a state of bliss as she rubbed her cheek against Satoko's head and smothered her. I could just imagine the other classmates just looking over like, what the fuck? The weirdos are at it again. Really, a very content face. One that wouldn't care if the world ended right then. It was that kind of smile.
Rena, Mimi is picking on me.
Crying.
Cute. It's okay, Rena. Oni-chan will take care of all those bad people who tease my little sister.
Punch. Which poof bam. It was like a flash of lightning. What was that just now? Both of Rena's fists shot out at supersonic speed, striking Mion and me squarely in our faces. Before we knew it, Mion and I were sprawled spread eagle on the floor, staring up at the ceiling with matching welts on our faces.
This is the first time you've gotten one, right? Today, she went easy on us.
Easy? You mean there's something harder than this? With that, Mion and I both slumped our heads back to the floor in unison. From now on, I'll be careful when I'm within striking distance of Rena.
See, Satoko-chan, I took care of them. Cute. I want to take you home.
Making sure Rena couldn't see it, Satoko stuck her tongue out at us. Damn it all, using Rena like a puppet! Rika-chan massaged our bruises without saying a word. Bell. No matter what the day had held, the last school bell always came too soon. Our shadows stretched off into the distance.
Hey, Keiichi-kun? Tomorrow, do you have plans or anything? Or anything?
Huh? It was such a direct question from Rena, I inadvertently blushed. If it was for a date, then wouldn't you do it more subtly? Rena saw me lost for words and realized that I'd misunderstood and turned red as well.
No, I didn't mean it like that. You see...
So apparently that wasn't what she meant. But since it's always fun when Rena's in a panic, I went along with it a little. Oh, really? So, it wasn't meant that way.
Huh? Huh?
Playing it up, I slumped my shoulders, feigning dejection.
Keiichi-kun, why are you so disappointed? Why? Mi-chan!
Busting her gut laughing. Unable to hold it in any longer, Mion slapped me on the back. See, this old geezer never knew you could push her buttons like that. Or icy, not see, icy. I forgot the first part of that sentence. Anyway. Laughter.
Huh? What is it?
Mion was rolling on the floor, clutching her stomach, while Rena flailed around, completely bewildered. I couldn't help but start laughing as well. Feeling just a bit guilty, I ruffled Rena's hair. I'm kidding. Sorry, it was a joke. That was my fault. She really is a cute one.
Huh? A joke? Since when?
About halfway through?
Halfway? So, Kei-chan, that means you weren't acting when you blushed at the start.
Huh?
That means...
It was only a momentary lapse, but there was no way Mion would let such a delectable detail slip by her. Oh, well, you see, saying anything more was also a bad idea. In my bewildered state, I slipped further into an unfavorable position. After that, Mion continued to tease me about it for a while.
Tease.
Hold on. Quick food bite. So why were you asking if I'm free tomorrow, Rena?
Huh? Oh, what were we talking about?
It had been so long that Rena had forgotten. That's how long Mion had teased me.
It's just, Kei-chan, you probably can't find your way around Hinamizawa by yourself yet, can you?
That was true. I hate to say it, but if you blindfolded me and spun me around 3 times like we're playing pin the tail on the donkey, I wouldn't be able to tell up from down here. Yeah, I don't think I know how to get anywhere besides back and forth from school.
Yes, So, you see, tomorrow we were thinking that Mi-chan and I could escort you through Hinamizawa and show you around.
That would be a godsend. Frankly, I was happy about the offer. You'll come, of course, right? If I'm free. You're being invited by a girl, you know. If I'm free. You're probably free anyways. If I'm free. I was being stubborn so as to not give a clear yes or no. Even though I thought it was a godsend, I'm too much of a scamp to say so up front. Ain't I just a little dingus?
Keiichi-kun, you're not free? Perhaps? Perhaps?
While Mion and I had our rather sour back and forth, Rena peeked over at me hesitantly. Figuring I'd been a bit too rough on her, I just gave in. Sorry, forgive me. I apologize. I'm free.
Great!
The trepidation disappeared from Rena's face as it blossomed into a smile.
Hey now. This is not what dreams are made of.
Seems like there's quite a difference between how cold you are to me compared to Rena, isn't there? It seems Mion didn't care for how rude I was to her compared to how quickly I agreed with Rena. But her being annoyed was very interesting. So I pushed Rena forward, speeding up our pace to leave Mion behind. Let's go, Rena. Maybe it should just be the 2 of us tomorrow. Leave grumpy old Mion behind.
Huh? Well, if Keiichi-kun is okay with that, then...
I'm the one who came up with the idea to take him around. Don't ignore me, Keiichi Maibara. It'd be great if the 2 of us could go on a picnic together. Should we bring a basket, Rena?
If we're bringing a basket, I'll make all the food, maybe. Maybe?
Don't you ignore me too, Rena. I'll put out a village-wide circular saying that you 2 disappeared into the hotel district together. That worked.
Well then, I'm going home right now to start making it. Tomorrow is going to be so fun. Later, Keiichi-kun, Mi-chan, bye!
Rena bounded off like she was walking on the moon. After the dust settled, all that was left was me standing next to Mion sprawled out on the ground. There was a welt on her face. You alright? There was over 2 meters between you guys.
Since you came, they've become sharper. This old geezer's body can't handle it.
Maybe it'd be easier if you stopped saying stuff that makes Rena want to hit you. Or else this will end up being Mion's slapstick comedy hour. If that happened, the results might be fatal. Don't feel bad, Mion. You're probably the only one who can dodge her jabs.
It felt like it was her knee, though.
Could it be that we were hanging around with the unrivaled martial arts master? Maybe someday we'll see her debut in extreme contact sport. You can't lose to Rena. You need to train up and have a rematch.
Kei-chan, you should. This old geezer will root for you.
Mion and I reaffirmed our determination to discover a way to counter Rena's infallible technique. This music feels so nostalgic to me, and I don't even know why. Maybe the sound font they're using. New tips unlocked! And of course, we're gonna go through the tips. Because tips add further context. Alright, we're mixed grade? Ignore the weird chanting. So, Rena, we're the same age?
Yes, that's right. We're the same zodiac animal, too.
Hey, now, it would be weird if we were the same age, but not the same zodiac animal. That's not true. If your birthday isn't the same, then you can have different animals even if you're the same age. Huh? Oh, I see. Yeah, probably thinking zodiac. Anyway, Mion, you're pretty smart.
What month were you born, by the way, Keiichi-kun? I'm July.
Rena smirked and puffed up with pride. Also, hey, fellow July birthday. Let's go. Hey now, what's the meaning of this? She's not planning to be all high and mighty if her birthday is a wee bit sooner than mine, is she? Don't even. It's impossible to challenge me by birthday. I wouldn't even mind if you bet 100 yen per month.
Huh? Huh? Why? Why?
Rena panicked at suddenly being challenged to a wager. Given how panicked she is, I am certain she doesn't have much allowance left this month. It's just, sending her into a panic about something as simple as a birthday is so fun. I can't help myself. So, that means you were born in April, Kei-chan? Right on. Too bad, Rena. I'm already far older than Rena.
Oh, I see. Then you're the same age as Mi-chan.
Well, it's just a few months. That gap will open up again soon enough. Mion snickered through her nose. Hey, now, that's not something to get all high and mighty about. As if I want to talk. Heh. Now that you mention it, you're in a higher grade, right, Mion? If you're underclassman, then I can be an underclassman from now on.
Mi-chan, you're not making any sense to me, even though my blush is definitely showing. I know what you mean.
Just by seeing Rena's blushing face, you could tell she knew exactly what she meant by it, though, which is what I literally just said. Anyway, then Satoko and Rika-chan are underclassmen. Their grade is so different that they should be in a different school, shouldn't they?
Keiichi-kun, your tastes are a bit too young, I think.
You're not making any sense yourself, Rena. I'll just grab onto her head and scruff it up a bit. You don't care? Let me scruff.
Stop it!
Scruffy. I wondered about it before, yeah. I was wondering why this school has different school years all mixed up. There aren't enough classrooms. Can't help it. This building is being rented from the forestry services, after all. When she says it like that, it makes sense. I've thought our school was strange for a while now. The schoolyard is gravel, there are rooms that aren't for classes, and there's some strange sort of construction machinery parked here. Why is it being borrowed? What happened to the real school? There was one here forever from before the war. It got dilapidated. They closed it down. It probably was a grand old schoolhouse. Well, because of that, the students would have to attend the school in the city. That's pretty far, though, you know?
Which school would that be?
Did you know there's a school if you pass by the Okinomiya train station, turn at the hospital, and head towards the pediatrics department?
What? So far?
I couldn't tell where that was by the location, but I understood it was pretty far from Rena's reaction. Well, that's why. The guys that didn't want to commute to Okinomiya rented out the building from the forestry services and are attending this pseudo-schoolhouse here.
About half the children in Hinamizawa go here. There's quite a lot of kids that come here on bike.
Well, since they're attending this really messed up school, it might be pretty hard for them to get into higher education.
That's not true, Mi-chan. If you study properly, you can go anywhere you want.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. I totally agree with Rena on this one.
Yes, that's right. Let's try our best.
All of you, try your best. This old man will be rooting for you. Not just us, you too. You should be preparing for exams, shouldn't you? Your future is bleak with grades like this. Fine, just fine. If I get stuck, then I'll just mooch off K-chan as he works forever.
What do you mean by mooch off K-chan? What do you mean?
Hey, you're too loud. Be quiet during self-study. The teacher yelled at all three of us. It was completely our fault. Satoko saw it and chortled haughtily. I stuck out my tongue at her in response. It is just as Mion says. This school has nothing to do with higher education. But it makes up for that by having lots of valuable things other schools don't. That was a good cutoff point for the music. Anyway, we don't have a uniform. In case you're wondering why everybody's dressed differently in a school setting, in a Japanese school setting specifically, after all these Japanese animes make it seem like everyone has their, like that uniform set. Anyway, it's only June. It's already so hot. I could hear the Higurashi outside chirping, me, me. That noise. And at night, there were mosquitoes. Might as well be summer already. You must mean, like, early June or something? Because June is definitely summer month, unless it's, like, scheduled slightly differently in Japan. I don't know. My only salvation was that the mornings were still cool.
Summer, I do declare.
Satoko was flapping her skirt languidly. That's pretty unladylike there. Even if she was a little brat, she was still a girl.
Keiichi does seem quite cool with just a single button-up shirt. I'm so jealous.
From how I see things, the skirt you're wearing looks like it would be much cooler. A girl like you wouldn't understand just how hot it is wearing jeans in this season. I was gonna make a comment, but nah, let's hold off.
It gets hot.
This girl has gone imagining something indecent. Rena's summer clothes have a nice refreshing color. I feel cooler just looking at them.
Thank you. They really do feel pretty cool.
I do wish my summer clothes were as breezy as Rena's.
But Satoko-chan, your summer clothes are so cute. Being a one piece and all. Oh, I'd like to wear your summer clothes.
Start. This is actually quite stuffy, you know. I do believe what you're wearing would feel much cooler.
It would be so much more fun with cute clothes.
I had a feeling that Rona and Satoka's base values were fundamentally different. Speaking of which, our school doesn't have a uniform?
Yeah, it doesn't. As long as they're proper, then regular clothes are fine.
There are quite a few students in regular clothes. There were a few wearing uniforms, but they were all the same design and rather plain. What's the uniform they're all wearing? They're all the same.
That's the city school's uniform.
And it's not like there's a rule, but they're all wearing them. Speaking of which, everybody in our group is wearing a different uniform, aren't we? Did you go out of your way to get them from somewhere?
Why, yes. Mion-san supplied them. Mi-chan's relative runs a second-hand clothing store. They could get school clothes from all over the country for cheap, they say.
So you asked those relatives to get a bunch of unique school uniforms, then? That Mion. She probably loves using her friends as dress-up dolls. That must be a strange second-hand clothing store. I get that it's a second-hand clothing store, but stocking clothes from schools all over the country? It's for cosplay, dummy! I don't even know if that was popular, but at this point. That's pretty strange for a second-hand clothing store. What's the point in stocking up clothes from faraway schools they know nothing about? Fashion, baby!
Yeah, I think so too. They also have used school swimsuits and PE uniforms. I don't like the idea of having used ones.
Doesn't sound like that shop makes much money. They probably have Mion pitch in and help so they can make a bit more.
But Mion says it'll be a big hit and become a great store with such conviction.
A second-hand clothing store that stocks school uniforms will be a big hit? I mean, let's be real, school uniforms, different designs. Like, if a storefront was like that, like in this day and age, at least for the weeb culture in America. I feel like it would be a hit. I don't get it. Of course you don't, K-chan. Of course you don't, Keiichi. Alright. And that's it for the tips, so... continue. I took it a little too easy on the morning of my day off. It was totally late. And to top it off, that pesky mom of mine pushing a return journey errand on me just as I'm trying to leave the house. Today was the day Rena and Mion were going to show me around Hinamizawa. Casual clothes! Rena and Mion were already waiting at the meeting place. Kate-chan, you're late. Sorry. The show I was watching last night was really interesting. Blame that. Oh, so that's your excuse for being up late and keeping two girls waiting? Or being late and keeping two girls waiting? Mi-chan, you just got here yourself. Started last night's episode of A Day in the Life of was interesting, wasn't it? She was just as guilty as me. Rena was carrying a pretty heavy-looking handbag. What is that? Mion answered my unspoken question with a wink. That's right, Rena really did make a picnic. Kei-chan, after you left, Rena pulled out all the stops. It's not like I forced her to do it. It was nothing, so don't worry about it. Okay, Star? She's been like this since last night, you know? Can you take responsibility for this? Alright. I am a man, after all. I'll take responsibility. Huh? Responsibility? For what? For what? Fucking tease. As we both turned around slowly to look at Rena, our gazes drifted downward to the massive handbag she was carrying. It didn't seem logically feasible that it would be entirely filled with lunchboxes. Except this was Rena we were talking about here. About 2 kilos, I guess? When Rena was picking it up, I could see she was struggling a bit. I say 5. You're exaggerating. Keiichi-kun is a boy, after all. I thought he could probably eat a lot, so I made a lot, okay? Gender norms and shit. Let's get going. Evo. Just from the way she was lifting it up, I couldn't believe the only things in there were lunchboxes. Correction. I say 5 kilos too. I'll help out. But all of it needs to be eaten. I won't forgive you if you make Rena sad. Got it? The only thing I could do at that moment was exercise a bit to make myself hungrier. Having finished with the pleasantries, we begin our leisurely stroll. A carefree walk, bathed in the gentle morning sunlight. I couldn't have even imagined something so wholesome existed during my time in the city. These were the boonies, after all. No slovenly desk jockeys trudging to work on the weekends out here. It really was a nice place. Peaceful and quiet. I really would actually like to walk around, like, this scenery. I would love to actually walk around here. It looks really cool, and just like the green mountains from all the forests, like, gorgeous. As sparsely populated as the village was, you could still run into people just by walking around. Good day. Good day. Oh, you would be my Barakun, I believe. My 2 companions exchanged greetings with everybody we ran across. Hold on, I need a sip of beverage. I am gonna be feeling this later. Anyway, all of these passers-by even knew my name. When did I become this famous? We passed 3 people, and when all 3 of them knew me, I started to feel a bit paranoid. It's a bit sad to say. everyone knows everyone since there are so few people here in Hinamizawa. So that means when an unfamiliar face walks by, they automatically assume it's that my Bara fella who just moved here? Yeah, that's how it works out. It was a process of elimination you could only pull off in a place like this. It was quite effective. Yes, hello, Tequila. From now on, I'd better make sure to maintain a good reputation. The day I'm discovered accidentally gawking at a dirty magazine in the bookstore, I can expect all the villagers labeling me as a lech by the next day. I don't know what that word means, but anyway. Hinamizawa is not to be trifled with. That's not the end of this nightmare.
Of course I know them. The first person we met was old man Takezao from the Makino bike shop. His hobbies are bonsai and playing the flute.
Next, we met the grocer's second son, Daisuke-kun. His hobby is sharpshooting, and he hopes to be an ace sniper in the future.
And the person we just met was Mio-san, the nurse from the clinic. Her hobbies are birdwatching and photography.
You know the names of everyone we passed by. And even their profiles? Seeing my surprise, Mion and Rena exchanged looks and burst into laughter. Well, yeah. We're not like the city where people hardly know their neighbors. We're more like Cheers, the place where you go where everybody knows your name. Let's try it out. You there, who am I?
You're Keiichi Maibara. You say some mean things, but you're actually a kind, shy person.
It's been 3 weeks since you transferred here. Your hobby is taking afternoon naps. Lately, you switched over to wearing boxers. Didn't you? That's enough, that's enough.
Boxers?
Enough of that! Apparently there is absolutely nothing you can keep hidden here. Hinamizawa is not a place to be trifled with. This feels more like you guys are showing me off rather than showing me around.
That's right.
We're parading around like this after all. It'll give everyone a chance to see for themselves. That Kei-chan is fitting right in here in Hinamizawa. The population in Hinamizawa is shrinking, so the villagers welcome anybody who's new here. I thought about brushing it off with something to the effect of, "You're kidding me," but I held back. Had I ever greeted someone who just moved into the city like this before? Thinking about that made me believe what they said wasn't a joke at all. We passed another person. Of course, we were called out to again the same way. "Oh my, good day. It's wonderful seeing you getting along. This lady here is Fujishima-san. Good day. Oh my Barakun, how wonderful you, having a lovely girl on each arm. How are you? Getting used to life here?" Instead of regurgitating a prepared response like I would have in the city, I responded with an emphatic nod. The old woman chuckled, voicing her appreciation of how energetic I was. Good. As I looked back over to Rena and Mion, they gave me a wink.
So, now then. About time to have lunch, maybe? Maybe? This picnic is very heavy. Please, lighten the load.
Rena's brilliant smile signaled the approach of an event that both Mion and I were trying to forget. We both looked at each other. I'm a man. I'll do what I can. It's just too much. It's fine, Kei-chan. Leave it to this old man. Mion has never seemed as reliable as she does right now. I'd expect no less from the class representative. Rena, if we're going to eat, we might as well go somewhere with a good view.
Yes! Good idea, I agree.
Rena nodded her head happily in response to Mion's proposal. Stairs. Archway. Cresting the top of a stone stairway, a shrine drawn straight out of my imagination appeared before us. It had worn down a bit through the years, but the fallen leaves had been swept up, giving it a tidy feeling.
This here is Furude Shrine. It's probably the place with the best view around.
This place. Be sure to remember it. Our next break, a festival will be held here. Isn't it a bit too early in the season for a festival? The Watanagashi isn't a summer festival. Long ago, it used to be a celebration of the end of winter. I was embarrassed for assuming that festivals had to be held in the summer.
Now then, spread out the lunch boxes, and there.
Various colored lunch boxes were placed one after the other on top of the plastic sheet. It sure did smell delicious. It was Rena's home cooking. It went without saying that it would be delicious. But is it even possible to finish all of this? Hey, Mion, it'll take more than just a good view to get all this down, you know?
Good afternoon.
Girlies. It was Rika-chan and Satoko. Why are they here? Mion grinned over at me. I see. This was her secret plan. The power in numbers. You have my thanks, Mion. Following up when all the pieces are in place is my specialty. We just had to come since there was such a commotion. What is the meaning of this? Take a look. It's time for lunch. Buffet style. Handmade gourmet meal by Rena. I can't see that much. Why have you laid out a tarp on our property? The temple is public grounds. It's not yours.
Keiichi is right. This is everyone's property.
Wow, Rika-chan is such a good girl. Have a seat. Eat with us. After opening up a spot for Rika-chan, I promptly turned my back on Satoko. Hold on 1 second. Where is my spot? No spot for you and nothing for you to eat.
Don't worry. There's some for you too.
None. I'll eat all of hers. I will not allow that. Rika!
Here. Chopsticks.
Both Satoko and I leapt at the boxes, having it out with each other. Man, really. Kei-chan, you're really good at leading people on. You might have a talent for this.
Have a plate. One for me-chan and Rika-chan too.
Rena whipped out pairs of chopsticks and paper plates.
If we don't hurry, it'll all be eaten up.
That's right. Okay. Shall we commence this battle?
Please eat a lot. There's enough for everyone.
Okay, Rena said as she opened up a thermos. Just then, I realized that this lunch was made under the assumption that 5 people would be eating. It didn't change how much there was, but the implication behind it was different. CG! I will not allow you to have this hamburger! I don't see a hamburger on the screen. But anyway. Using your elbow is against the rules, Satoko! Grabbing the back of my collar is also against the rules. It was a tough battle. Blocking with her full momentum and an elbow in the opening moves, Satoko appeared to have the upper hand, but the difference in our proficiency with chopsticks proved to be fatal and gave me the upper hand. The last meatball! Satoko Hoju has been bested. Hop. Satoko and I began choking at the same time, falling backwards and spasming. Rika-chan patted me on the head to clear it, even though it was actually stuck in my throat. Saying that made Rena blush and breathe heavily in excitement. It was almost like flowers were floating all around her. Mion advised Rena to refrain from saying anything that could get her locked up. This is how our meals usually go. I'd do anything in my power, just so things could stay like this. The intense battle calmed, and finally, everyone reached a point where they could begin talking. Receiving tea from the thermos, I let out a small sigh. I do wonder why there are so few words in Japanese to praise how something tastes. I mean, y'all came up with umami, at least. Isn't it because the idea of togetherness during a meal didn't begin until the modern era? Is that so?
It seems that long ago, people ate in silence. It must have made the people preparing the food a bit sad, don't you think?
It's probably because the people back then were so busy eating that they didn't have time to compliment the flavor. That's just you.
But you know, just hearing that it's good makes me happy. That my effort was worth it, I mean.
She blushed a little as she said that.
It was delicious.
With absolutely perfect timing, Rika-chan struck Rena directly with praise. She looked straight at her with an expression of bewitching innocence.
Huh?
After Rena uttered an unintelligible noise, a ring of smoke rose from her head with an audible poof.
Oh, maybe Rika-chan, I'm gonna take you home. No, I mean, thank you. It was really delicious.
Rena flushed red with excitement, embracing Rika-chan and rubbing her cheek against her so hard you could almost hear it.
To reward Rika-chan for her praise. Ta-da! These are special.
2 apple rabbits. After sticking toothpicks into them, she thrust them towards Rika-chan. After Rika-chan accepted them, the mood suddenly shifted in a bizarre way. What is it, Satoko? What's with that defiant look?
Has everyone prepared proper praise to receive apples from Rena-san?
Don't push yourself. What kind of praise can you think up with your weak vocab?
Oh, well then. Allow me to show you.
After Satoko flashed Mion and me a defiant look, she changed the tone of her voice suddenly.
Hey! So, Rena Oni-chan's lunch? Satoko thought it was yummy too.
Satoko looked up at her poutily while talking cutesy. What? How was that praise? That's not even persuasion by tears. That's persuasion by cuteness, isn't it? Oh, this is a Rena limited special skill. She blustered and her head spun, waving around in circles. Don't fall for it, Rena! Of course, that was asking for the impossible. Rena glomped. I think that dates this game. It used glomp. Sorry, visual novel. You get it. Or at least dates the translation. Anyway. Rena glomped Satoko and began rubbing her cheek against her.
Cute! Satoko is so cute. Take you home.
Swish. Stab. Push. Satoko was also presented with apple rabbits. After stuffing them into her mouth, she looked over at Mion and me again with that defiant gaze. It took only 5 seconds to take down Rena. That's unfair. I didn't think she had such a trick.
If it upsets you so much, why not reward Rena-san with some praise?
Damn it. It was a dirty trick. First of all, that wasn't even praise. Satoko, you think you've won with that, don't you? How about I show you guys something much better than your superficial gimmicks? That sounds great, Mion. What kind of trick is it?
Kei-chan is gonna be the one who does it.
What?
Why don't I have you show me then? The writhing of an old maid.
The plan of attack she suggested was wicked. But it was the only thing we had to beat Satoko. After sipping my tea, I started talking, very naturally, calmly. Perfectly. It really is good, isn't it? This is all freshly made, right?
No. Actually, most of it, almost all of it was frozen stuff.
Then which ones did you make fresh?
Well, it's embarrassing. Do I really have to say? Must I?
From the synergy of boy plus handmade lunchbox, her expression had melted into euphoria. I already know. This one, right? Rena turned an even deeper shade of red. The words, "I can't believe it," practically written on her face.
How can you tell? How? That I made it.
Of course, Mion had told me beforehand. It's been perfect so far. After acting like I was shy, I waited a beat. Next would be the finisher. It had your smell. It's fucking cringe. Silence envelops the area. Rena, face still completely red, froze solid. With a small yelp, Satoko also blushed. Of course, I did too. I sure would like to try one of Rena's handmade apple rabbits, or something. Even if this was all because I was competing against Satoko, it felt like I had crossed the line by a good 9 yards, I think. Then at that moment, whoosh. It was a Tupperware container filled with rabbits.
Please eat some chicken. There's plenty for you.
What? Instantly, dozens of apples were shoved into my mouth, knocking me over. Okay, say, sorry.
Okay, say, chicken. Start.
My head was forcibly laid upon her lap, and even more apples were shoved into my mouth. While she was squealing, one apple after another was forced into my mouth. More and more apples. Okay, good. Translation. How about them apples, Satoko? Looks like we win. Okay, Chan, that was a beautiful sacrifice. How's that, Satoko? This is our complete victory, isn't it?
I can't believe it. Such trickery. It doesn't bother me at all.
Satoko ground her teeth, mortified. We did it. I claimed victory as my consciousness drifted slowly away from me. At that time, Rena stopped her squealing as she suddenly realized something.
Rika-chan? You're not eating it? Did the salt water make it too strong, maybe? Maybe?
Looking over, Rika-chan had pulled the toothpick out of the apple rabbit, placed it into her cupped hands, and seemed to be at a loss for what to do.
Poor Mr. Rabbit. I feel sorry for him. I want to save him.
That was the sound of blood spurting from Rena's nose.
Tonight, I will take you home. Start.
She shook sporadically, her head wobbling back and forth. Then, coming back to her senses, she took all of the apples around me, gathered them up with a whip, and fixed them back up on a plate.
Now they're all just fine, okay? Here, I'll give them to you, Rika-chan, okay? Okay.
Rika-chan raised up Satoko's hand like a referee after having that plate of rabbit shoved to her. She whispered,
"This is our victory."
What? What? A comeback? I just don't care anymore. Thus, my sacrifice ended up being in vain. Intermission. Never count out Rika. Sorry, took a bite of food. Had to nama on potato. It was a fun-filled, crazy day. But as soon as the sun began to set, the end of the day really did come quickly. Later, Rena and Kei-chan. See you tomorrow. Thanks for today, Mion. I had a great time.
See you tomorrow.
Satoko and Rika-chan went home as well. We parted ways with Mion, and it ended with just Rena and myself enjoying the evening air on our way home.
Thanks for coming today, Keiichi-kun. Was it fun?
Yeah. Lots of fun. Almost feels like a waste to go home now.
Then, well, would you mind taking a little detour, maybe?
A detour? Is it far?
It's a bit of a walk, but it won't take long.
Since we had been walking around all day, I must have seemed a bit tired. Not feeling like teasing Rena, I quietly nodded. Traversing a small path up a small hill, the land suddenly stretched out before us. There, what looked like the remains of a dilapidated construction site came into view. A large heap of garbage spread out off towards the swamp. Probably illegal dumping. I recalled it being in the newspaper.
It's been quite a while. I wonder what's here.
When you say it's been a while, you mean the business you had here was this garbage pile?
It's not garbage! To me, it's a pile of treasure.
Rena had already entered that well-known cute mode of hers. So that meant there was something cute here?
Wow, a new pile! I can't wait!
She descended the unstable slope with ease. I'd expect no less from a born and bred country girl. Hey, wait, I'm coming! Whoa! My city race self was completely pitiful.
It's alright, just stay there, Keiichi-kun. It won't take long.
Rena kindly declined my accompaniment. Don't fall! Watch your step!
I'm fine. This is nothing at all.
Literally bounding among the heaps of trash, Rena disappeared from sight. I didn't like being left behind, but I was still pretty tired from the whole day, so I just ended up waiting. Without the lively runner around, the surrounding area quickly fell into silence. The cry of the Higurashi gently cooled the air. Fairly exhausted, I began to feel a little sleepy. Just then, the sudden noise of scattering pebbles alerted me to someone's presence. Startled, I turned around. Standing there was a typical-looking photographer. He spied over at me through his camera. His body was tanned and fit. Like, look at them pecs! But something about him seemed unreliable. He had a bit of an aloof air about him. Well, didn't seem like he was a bad guy in any case. Whoa! You surprised me. Although startled when I turned around, he overplayed his reaction. That was my line. I'm the one who's surprised here. My bad. I didn't mean to startle you. Are you from Hinamizawa? I gathered that he wasn't from that question. Unfazed by my suspicious gaze, he introduced himself without my prompting. I'm Tomitake, a freelance photographer. I come to Hinamizawa from time to time. I didn't ask who you were. Quite rude to photograph someone without consent, one would think. My bad. I mainly photograph. I mainly photograph wild birds. They can't refuse, you see. So you're saying... So what? You're saying I'm the same as the birds? It's like, yeah, I take pictures of birds because they can't provide consent. No, well, you see... That image of a young man in the twilight was just picturesque. I apologize for trying to take your picture without asking. Adults are pretty slick. All that annoyance I felt for being startled just flew away as he buttered me up. I had no intention of hanging around with this guy trying to get cozy with me, a high schooler. Except it didn't seem like Rena would be back soon. But this older guy, Tomitake-san, he didn't mind my cautious responses and continued rambling on by himself.
Keiichi-kun, sorry to keep you waiting. I'm finished now.
Rena popped her head out from one of the lower piles of garbage and waved her hand. You have someone with you. What would she be doing over there? That's what I wanted to know. Dunno. Maybe she's checking on the dismembered corpse that was out here long ago. Tomitake-san looked shaken up by that for a moment. Uh-oh. I responded like I would if I were talking with Rena and the others. It's quite a disturbing incident. They still haven't found one of the arms.
Keiichi-kun, sorry to keep you. You were waiting a while, I guess.
I'd best leave you two lovebirds alone. Again, my apologies for startling you, Keiichi-kun. Tomitake-chan chortled suggestively, then disappeared into the twilight. Missing my chance to retort put me off a bit.
Keiichi-kun, are you angry? Why, I wonder?
It wasn't Rena's fault, so I decided to brush it off for now. How was it? Find a treasure trove?
Oh, yes. So, listen. You see, there was a Colonel Sanders doll.
Colonel Sanders doll? Oh, that thing. Those statues they always have out in front of the fried chicken place. That life-size dummy?
Yes, Colonel Sanders, Star. Yes, I want to take it home, Star.
I couldn't tell how she decides what's cute or not, but, well, she seems to want it. It's garbage, right? No one would care if you just take it home, right?
It's become the base of another pile. I can't take it out easily. There's no lampposts over there, so it'll get pretty dark soon.
Rena seemed quite down about finding a treasure and not being able to bring it back. I'll help you out. To repay you for that delicious picnic you prepared today.
Thank you.
Birds heading home to roost proclaimed that nightfall would soon be upon us.
Keiichi-kun's going to help, Star. I can take Colonel Sanders home.
Rena staggered along as if intoxicated in her dreamy state of mind. I tried asking her in a way that wouldn't take her out of her cheery state. Hey, Rena? Long ago, did something happen here?
Seems like they were building a dam here. I don't know the details, though.
Just wondering if you knew about, an accident or something?
I don't know.
Her tone was disturbingly frank. It sounded more like a denial than an answer. I must have appeared rather dumbstruck. Rena quickly lightened her expression.
Actually, I didn't live here until a year ago.
Huh. You transferred here too? I was sure that...
So you see, I don't really know much from before that. Sorry, Star.
Don't really know? Don't want to talk about it. That was the kind of feeling she gave me. Don't really know, don't want to talk about it. That was the kind of feeling she was giving me. The quotes threw me off. Alright. Thinking about it, of course it would be like that. This wasn't the type of thing girls would enjoy talking about. It was quite a disturbing incident. They still haven't found one of the arms. If it's just like Tomitake-san said, then I had a feeling only the Higurashi would know. And there's a little crumb. A little hint that something might be off.
Anyway, we got new tips. Let's look at the new ones. Okay, so the Maibara Manor. So, Kei-chan, you're not stinking rich? What is this all of a sudden? Did I come to school in a limo before? How much do you get for a monthly allowance? About 1,000 yen. My, that's a rather plebeian amount. His lunch is made up of normal stuff. He isn't rich. What are they talking about? To be asked out of nowhere how much money I get and then told it's a plebeian amount? Sorry. Rena seemed to pick up on my dubious expression and started giggling. Kei-chan, your house, you know, it's pretty big, yeah? So the architecture has people all around Hinamizawa calling it the Maibara Manor, and it sort of stands out. Maibara Manor? Since the house is so big, everyone is gossiping, wondering exactly how rich you are. I see. Now I get it. Well, the frame of it is huge. I see how it could cause some misunderstandings. From my deduction, I wager they spent too much money on building the house. They spent, too much money on building the house, and that's why they are now broke. Being broke, how very, very unfortunate. Rika-chan took pity on me as she patted my head. I go from being treated like a millionaire to a beggar. Yeah, sorry for ruining your imagination, but we aren't millionaires or poor. We're the image of a normal, average household. You can't call it normal with that huge house. The entranceway is all grand, and the gate is large enough for a large truck to get through. That's not normal at all. They do say the bigger your house, the more prosperous you are. The reason the house is so big is because Dad's studio is in it too. There are a bunch of different workshops, and lots of his works are hung up in different places. All of them are huge too. For those reasons, the family actually uses only a third of the house for day-to-day living. He planned it out so people in cars could come in and see the gallery he opens up in the house someday. By the way, the entranceway Mion is talking about is the one for the studio, and is normally sealed off. The entranceway to the Maibara family actually uses a very plain and simple one. The entranceway the Maibara family actually uses is a very plain and simple one. The interior is much different from how it looks on the outside. I'd really like a chance to explore Kei-chan's house. Claiming not to be rich, but having a home like that. What could be hidden there? Maybe there's something cute hidden? They probably had no money to purchase furniture, so it's filled with Spartan rooms. If there are carpeted rooms, I would love to try rolling around on the floor. That'd be so great. I want to roll around too. Seems like their imaginations were just piling on. Well, sometime in the near future. It wouldn't be too bad to invite them all to my house. Dad is a sucker for the ladies, so he might even let them look around his studio. The cry of the Higurashi crescendoed as the sky towered over everything. It was hot, but the air was clear. It smelled like the beginning of summer. That was a random line at the end. And now, the damn site murder/dismemberment. Newspaper edition. Here's another little taste for you. From the June something 1979 edition. The Shishibone City Okinomiya Police Station. June blank, late at night. Suspects. Names omitted. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 names were omitted. Were arrested on suspicion of murder and improper disposal of a corpse. The main offender has been added to wanted lists nationwide. According to our sources, the 6 suspects were at the Hinamizawa Dam construction site workroom.
on the blank at 9 p.m., where they are suspected to have assaulted and murdered the site overseer blank as a group dismembering his body and hiding it. As a group, comma, dismembering his body and hiding it. On the blank at 8 o'clock in the morning, a report was filed by the Shishibone City Hospital in which a male suspect alluded to having murdered Mr. Omitted. When questioned at the police station, the individual confessed to the crime. Since a portion of the body was recovered at the location he gave, he was arrested that afternoon on suspicion of murder and mutilation of a corpse. The rest of the suspects were arrested the same day, but the main culprit is still at large. Police are currently on his trail. The motive is purported to be a drunken verbal dispute during which he killed the victim in a fit of anger. However, as there are multiple inconsistencies with their testimonies, the investigation is ongoing. Anyway, killing a guy and dismembering his body, that's fucked up. That is fucked up. I'll let y'all sit on that while I take a few more bites of food. Oh yeah, hydration check. Save your work. All right, let's continue. I probably won't go too much longer, but I do want to take as much of a chunk out of the beginning as I can. All right. A Colonel Sanders? Ah, of course, that's right up her alley. I understand wanting to take home Satoko and Rika-chan, but I can't understand the Colonel Sanders. What's so good about that four-eyed geezer? Clearly, you haven't played the frickin' dating sim they made with him. Probably better to hear it from Rena, don't you think? She'll probably just say, because it's so cute, star, though. Does Rena often go to the construction site to hunt for treasure? Every now and then, she says she's going to have a look. But a girl her age rummaging around in garbage is, well... If Rena enjoys it, then I think it's fine. What were they doing over there? Dam construction? I don't know why that hesitated. It had been bugging me since yesterday, like an itch I couldn't scratch. It was canceled a long time ago. Everyone gathered together and fought against it. Hearing an ominous word like fought come from Rika-chan's mouth startled me. That's right. It was unbelievable. They said Hinamizawa would be sunk into the reservoir and we had no say in the matter. So I'm only able to be here because the protest succeeded. I'm sorry. I didn't keep you, did I? Did I? My deepest apologies, Keiichi-san. It took me a while to powder my nose. Satoko, wait to use the can until you really have to go. It's a lot easier since it shoots right. Why? How dare you speak that way to a maiden of unparalleled beauty such as myself? Who was she calling a maiden? If Satoko really was a maiden, she wouldn't have reacted like that. The usual hijinks ensued. Now then, gentlemen, in accordance with the rules of our society, I bring a point to discussion. He, Keiichi Maibara-kun, wishes to be included as a member in our activities. What say you? Rena has no objection. Oh, I wonder if the likes of this peasant is up to the task. Me and Satoko both approve. The three that Mion had queried voiced their approval. A unanimous decision. Congratulations, Keiichi Maibara-kun. I present you the honor of being allowed to take the entrance exam for our club.
start from the beginning. I didn't say I would join. What club is this? What our club does, you see. In order to cope with our complicated society, we perform various activities under different sets of rules. Sometimes they are in your favor, and sometimes they work against you. I'm pretty weak, so I'd prefer if you didn't single me out. Let's try to get along. You're so naive, Rena. The law of the jungle is survival of the fittest. This was starting to sound a bit sketchy. So what kind of club was it? To sum it up, it's a club where we play games together. Rika-chan was the only one to answer my question with a pertinent response. So basically, this club put Mion's hobby of collecting games to use by playing the various games that Mion had hoarded every day. It seemed that, depending on the day, there were prizes for the winner or a penalty for the person who finished in last. I'll make this clear right now. We aren't playing house here. You should treat each win or loss as if your life depends on it, alright? What's wrong with just having fun? Don't make it sound so crazy. The first rule of our society. Aim only for first place. Going at it half-assed just because it's a game is not allowed. Rule number 2 of our society. For that reason, you are obligated to make all possible efforts. The way Satoko said it, it sounded like she was saying, use any means necessary. Of course, I will do my best too. I'm pretty weak, but I'm trying my best. I knew what they were trying to say. In a game where everybody is aiming for the top, it's rather unsportsmanlike to play just for fun. Alright, then I too will go all out. With that, I was finally ready for the rite of initiation, my baptism into the club. A word of warning, Ch.1. Rena can get pretty nasty. This initiation looks like it's going to be rough. Mion began fishing around in the student lockers in the back of the room. They have the games here at school? Well, it's club equipment, so I guess that's fine. Complicated games would put Ch.1 at a disadvantage. So today, we'll play a game that you should be familiar with. How about a standard card game, like Old Bachelor? Alright, let's do this. What, could you not use Old Maid? Anyway, can't really get into it unless there's a penalty. This time, the loser will be sentenced to having their face drawn on. What do you think? Whoa. It won't be permanent marker, right? Right? Permanent? She was to draw on her face with a permanent marker. She did not confirm nor deny it, buddy. That's perfect! Satoko cheered the idea on. She didn't even flinch at the thought of such a severe penalty. It seemed like she was raring to go. If it's going to be like this, then I can't lose either. Then I'll just cut the deck and start dealing. Old Bachelor is pretty much the same as Old Maid. Oh yeah, it's its own thing. Okay. There's only one difference. There's no Joker. In its place, one card is pulled out at the start, meaning there will be one card without a match left over at the end. You don't know which card will end up being the Joker. It's a pretty thrilling game. I'll be honest, I've also never played Old Maid, so I don't know the rules of Old Maid either. But I'm reading along. I'll take the card out now. And Mion took out one card and left it face down on the table. Everybody stared at the card intently. Well, it'll be pretty obvious in the endgame. No way to tell at the start. But the rest of them were very serious. They didn't seem as relaxed as I was. They compared their cards to the one face down, all while gauging each other's reactions. It was as if they could see what the face down card was. No, it couldn't be. This deck is pretty worn out. No way. Can everyone tell by the scratches what the card on the table is? Remember the second rule of our society. Keiichi-san must try his hardest to win as well. A number of cards are quite unique. Keiichi-kun should be able to remember them pretty quickly. She said that so matter-of-factly. Suits me fine. Don't think a little thing like that can be your crutch. I lashed out angrily, but it was rather obvious I was at a disadvantage. After all, they'd gone so far as to memorize the wear and tear for each individual card. This wasn't a simple game of Old Bachelor. This was a test. And they were playing with the answer sheet in front of them! Bring it! I'll take advantage of your carelessness and beat you at your own game! That baseless confidence would soon be crushed. How about I tell you your hand starting from the right? 3, 4, 9, Jack, Queen.
By the way, the Bachelor is the Jack of Diamonds.
Yeah! I can tell what they are even if you switch them around. I'm out. I thought I was prepared for it to be this brutal. Just overwhelming. It's demons. You're all demons. Rena isn't a demon, are you?
Sorry, Keiichi-kun. This is the 3 of Hearts, isn't it? I'm out.
Not even a hint of mercy. Rena, even Rika-chan. These club activities weren't to be trifled with. An alumnus of this club would definitely survive in the cruelest of situations. If our entire class had self-detonating collars strapped to their necks and we were dropped into a death match on a deserted island, these guys would probably take it like a fish to water. I can already picture their joy as they hunt down each of their classmates. That was certainly a descriptive thought, buddy. It's a lowest point system. The order itself dictates the points. Whoever has the lowest point total wins.
Since Keiichi finished last, he has 5 points.
There's already a 5 marked down on my scoreboard.
I think it's unfair to Keiichi-kun if we don't use a new deck.
It's fine, it's fine. Kei-chan is a man after all.
He could turn the tables even if the odds are stacked against him, right?
It's fitting for a lowly peasant to scamper home and soak their pillow in tears, don't you think? A petite hand laid itself on top of my head, which was trembling from uncontainable frustration. It was Rika-chan's.
Keep on fighting.
I'm pretty sure that thing is supposed to be her going, Nipa! I'm pretty sure that was her thing in the anime. So I might sub that in. Anyway,
keep on fighting. Nipa!
Thanks to Rika-chan's words of encouragement, I was able to calm down. You need to be calm, especially when you're cornered. That's the power I could muster during this crisis. Think clearly, Keiichi Maibara. Take your time and look at the cards carefully. It's just as Rena said, several of the cards have their own distinct markings, making them stand out. Memorizing them should be pretty simple. Think about what you can do in this situation. Try everything in your power to improve your chances of victory.
Oh, great, Keiichi-kun, just like that.
I covered the uniquely marked cards with my hands. I covered the uniquely marked cards with my hands or other cards, arranging them in such a way that they couldn't be seen.
The one with the ripped corner should be the 5, and I'm out.
I couldn't let any of those precious hints slip by me. All information is a weapon. Then it was my turn. Satoko fanned out her cards for me. You see, I want the 7. Is it this one? I wonder about that. Or I wonder about that! You won't know unless you take it! There was a bit of dismay in her expression. Like she doesn't want it taken. That kind of expression. I won't let that momentary lapse slip by me! I know. It's this one! Got it! 7 of spades! A cheer of ooh rang out. What's this? The 7 should be the hardest one of all to tell apart. It wasn't from memorizing the markings. Those slight changes in their expressions as I was selecting a card were enough. You can't hide it from me, Kei-chan. This mark means it's the 2 of diamonds. What? She was startled by her own misread. Of course, everyone else was too. Well,
It's rare that Mi-chan gets a card wrong. No. Kei-chan, could it be you?
They told them apart by different marks. That mark was a nail scratch, so I put a new one on it!
Are you saying he disguised it as the Two of Diamonds? What an impressive show of wit! Keiichi landed a clean hit.
Clap, clap, clap.
That's great, Keiichi-kun! That was an incredible match, you know?
Having defeated the Forerunner, Mion, my brilliant battle left me ecstatic. But by total points, it was already set in stone that Mion would win, and I would finish last. I laughed haughtily, selecting the tone of my voice carefully to get on Mion's nerves. Well, I'm going to end up the loser, but I'm satisfied with one-upping Mion in the end. Star. That should be the proverbial slap in the face to Mion, who is at the top already and ensured victory. Even if Kei-chan gets first place this round, he'll still end up last place overall. Don't you hate that? Of course I do. Let's have a duel. One chance. If you win, then we'll swap first and last place. How about it? You up for it? She fell for it. A chance for an upset that wouldn't be possible without goading her into it. One chance, you say? Let me hear the rules. Mion discarded 2 cards from her hand and replaced one with the Joker card that was on the table, then shuffled the resulting hand behind her back. The card in my right, or the card in my left? If Kei-chan can guess which hand the Joker's in, then he wins. When you turned around just now, you didn't pull out the Joker, did you? If you lose, I'll show the card in the other hand. That okay? The other 3 gulped nervously at this unexpected turn of events. Alright, you've got it! Mion grasped 1 card in each hand and thrust them out at me. First, I needed to inspect them closely. The card on the right had no distinguishing marks. I couldn't tell which one it was.
Which one, I wonder? Keiichi-kun, be careful!
Yeah, of course. This is my chance for a big comeback! Looking closely at the card on the left, I saw a little wear. It wasn't one I had seen before.
That card is...
I didn't let that bit from Satoko slip by me! Mion clucked her tongue. I didn't realize the mark on the left card was from the small number that I had memorized. I didn't know what the left card was, but I could tell from Satoko's reaction that the card had already appeared during the game. Since it had already appeared before, it meant it definitely wasn't the Joker.
Ooh. Kei-chan thinks it's the one on the right? Will you choose that one then? Will you?
Left card definitely wasn't the Joker. If I could trust that theory, I should have been able to declare the card to the right was the Joker. Even without Mion's taunting, the one on the right was the most suspicious. Wasn't it a bit too rash to decide based solely on Satoko's reaction? More carefully. Ah! I remember now! That mark, the left card, no doubt about it! 7 of clubs!
It's the 7 of clubs, I see.
I've won! The card on the left was the 7 of clubs, so that meant the card on the right was the Joker! And then just before my hand touched the right card, I froze. I would expect no less from you. There was a wave of murmurs amongst the onlookers at my sudden halt, right before I confirmed the right card was the Joker.
Huh? What could Keiichi-san possibly be saying? I mean, the left one is... What makes you so certain that the right one isn't the Joker, Kei-chan?
Mion let loose an unexpected question. Everyone else was baffled. I don't know what the card on the right could be, but I know that the one on the left is the 7 of clubs.
Then, doesn't that leave the right one as the Joker? One of them has to be the Joker, right?
Yeah, one of those is the Joker, right?
Keiichi has good intuition. Huh? Rika-chan, what do you mean by...
So basically, the 7 of clubs. I discarded that by matching it with Satoko's 7 of spades earlier. Everyone's attention snapped to the discard pile at the same time. The truth of the matter couldn't be discerned from that sloppy pile. So that means Mion pocketed one of the discarded cards that aligned it over the left card, and that means...
I see, I get it! The left card is being disguised as a 7 of clubs, right?
It was the first time since the start of the match that a shadow ran across Mion's expression. I didn't let that slip by. Then with a grand flourish, I declared it loudly. The Joker is... the left one! It was an intense moment. That 1 second felt like an eternity for everyone there. Breaking that silence, the first one to speak was Mion. Being the first president of this club, I've been witness to a variety of performances. K-chan, yours is the best. The best of the best of the best. That was probably the greatest compliment Mion could give. Mion accepted her defeats, dropping the cards from both hands. My comeback victory! Rika-chan placed her hand on my head and began petting it, congratulating me on my victory. Huh? Rika-chan is... Rena and Satoko gaped at us, as if they'd seen a ghost. What is it, Rena? It's not as if I cheated or anything, right? This was fair and square. Rika only pets someone on the head to console them. Huh? What's the meaning of... At that moment, Rena let out a small shriek.
Keiichi-kun? This is how it was?
You know, Kei-chan, I thought you'd read into it that far. Everyone froze. No, it was just me. It was a gamble. If you had just jumped to conclusions like a little brat, then I would have lost. It was the answer that everyone was certain about. Mion picked up the card from the losing hand. Kei-chan, you know, you should take pride in this loss. She turned it around. That was the card that proclaimed the victor of this duel. The card under the 7 of clubs. Unbelievable. It was the 2 of diamonds. It was a setup behind the setup. If I just picked the right one without reading so deeply into it. I, Mion Sonozaki, as the club president, do accept Keiichi Maibara's membership into our club. As I slumped to my knees, dazed, everyone let out a round of applause for the excellent effort I gave despite my defeat. The match is now over. Today's victor is me, Mion Sonozaki, and our exalted loser is Keiichi Maibara. Everyone made a commotion, applauding cheerfully. I felt I was bested, but I was so soundly beaten that it unexpectedly felt rather refreshing. When Michan pulled that little trick behind her back, I got excited, thinking, she's gonna do it again! When Keiichi's son stopped the moment before touching the correct card, I thought, he fell for it! He fell for it quite handily. Huh? Hey, wait. All of them knew from the start and still got excited so earnestly? It was your performance, guy, I swear. Everyone got excited to make it more fun. You're all demons, you monsters! Now then, Kei-chan, it's time for your penalty. Since it's your first day participating, I'll go easy, okay? It would be a problem if you refused to come to school. The other 3 members held down my arms and shoulders firmly. Mion approached, licking her lips. Her right hand went to pull something out of her pocket. That's a felt tip marker, and it's a giant permanent one! Okay, here we go. She took the cap off the marker and brought it slowly up to my face while I was immobilized. No, no! I let out my death throes. And that's how Keiichi Maibara died. From permanent marker fumes. As soon as the club activities were finished, Rena flew off. Probably so she could dig at that cute Colonel Sanders that she wasn't able to take home yesterday. So today it was just Mion and me walking home together. A rather rare occurrence.
A mountain of treasure, huh?
The guys throwing it away probably never thought in their wildest dreams that that Rena would be grateful to them. Mountain of treasure, meaning that damn construction site from before. That damn construction site. Oh, right. Mion would probably tell me. That murder by dismemberment that seemed to have happened there. If I'm taking the words of a stranger as gospel. Over there, you know, at that damn construction site. Did something happen there? Long ago? Something sure did. A grand battle. There were sit-ins and demonstrations. It was a bit different from what I wanted to hear, but I decided I'd listen just the same. It was our lands that was going to be sunk into the damn reservoir. I would have fought as well, probably. Oh wait, maybe that was him saying it. Anyway, the government guys were really adamant about it, acting all big and full of themselves. Since they figured it out they couldn't settle it with money, they did a bunch of nasty stuff. They were nasty guys. Mion spoke excitedly, as if the whole thing was happening right in front of her. I'm amazed you guys won. You were facing the federal government, right? The mayor and prominent figures in the village all signed petitions. They went to Tokyo and struck deals with legislators. And as a result, the development plan was retracted. It was our complete victory. There wasn't any violence, was there? Like assaults or, I don't know, murders? None. She promptly cut me off. The same way Rena had. Her words signaled the end of the discussion. Tomitake-san said one arm wasn't found in the incident. I thought that a murder by dismemberment had occurred, but I guess I was wrong. My curiosity unsated, I sighed dejectedly inside. Later. See you tomorrow. Kei-chan, you can't wash that off until you get home. Got it? I got it. I won't. Mion held back her laughter while stealing glances at my face. I wonder what kind of nasty doodles they drew. And that's why you gotta wait till you get home so you can look in the mirror. Damn you, Mion. You shall rue this day! If our roles are ever reversed, I'm going to go all out. All over your face so you won't be able to take it off, even with a scoring pet. That sounds painful. That was a brief one. Upon arriving home, I ran straight into my mom, embarrassing myself yet again. The mood I'd come home to was already on edge. It's not an uncommon thing in our family. Whenever Dad can't come up with a good idea, it always ends up like this. He stomps around the house with his arms crossed. A mom whispered into my ear. Welcome home, Keiichi. Dad, he's in a bit of a rut right now, so don't bother him, okay? Can't come up with a new idea? It's because the deadlines are so close together this time. Your dad needs time to recharge, or he doesn't work as well. I get you. Dad's paintings feed our entire family. If he runs out of ideas, then it's the end of the Maibaras. We've never gone hungry before. Could it be that my dad is a master painter? Buddy! Wouldn't it be easier to get an idea taking a walk outside rather than wandering around the house? The theme of the piece this time is in the household. So it seems your dad wants to use this house as a motif. That's quite a bothersome motif. Keiichi, tidy your room for once in a while. It looks terrible. Sorry, I'll clean it up later. Come on, please don't use my room as the motif. Keiichi, there's still some time before dinner, so please go take a walk out back or something. Dad's moods are only temporary. As soon as he gets an idea, his mood improves and he starts humming. Until then, it wouldn't be a bad idea to just go take a walk so I don't aggravate him further. Oh, I guess I will then. Bye! I said I was going to take a walk, but I didn't have any particular destination in mind. I just needed to kill some time. I got on my bike and pondered where to go. I could just go read at the bookstore, but it would take about an hour by bike to get to town. It would be dark by the time I got back, so I didn't want to go unless I had to. The roads at night here in Hinamizawa creep me out. If Mion or Satoko ever found out about that... I smiled wryly. Oh yeah, Rena was probably still at the Mountain of Treasure, the damn construction site. The excavation of Colonel Sanders was probably taking her a while. It wouldn't be so bad to have her owe me one. She might return the favor next time we have club activities. With a little bit of self-interest in mind, like a little asshole, I set off towards the damn construction site. That damn construction site. Tomitaka-san might be there as well. The only person with information about the incident that both Rena and Mion denied knowing anything about. And yet, he just threw out one throwaway line, and yet I instantly believe him for some reason. If I met him again, I'd like to ask for more details. To ask, was there really a dismemberment here in Hinamizawa? That was my real intention. They did a good job, recreating the scenery used in the OG game. I spotted Rena struggling up on the slope of the garbage pile. It looked like Colonel Sanders was lodged in there pretty firmly. It didn't look like Rena would be able to excavate him by herself. Realizing that Tomitake-san wasn't around, I began climbing down the slope unsteadily. Hey, Rena! Looks like you're working up a sweat.
Whoa, Keiichi-kun! What brings you to a place like this?
A place like this, huh? I see. She was aware of it, at least. I received a signal for emergency assistance at the accident site. Where is the injured party?
Huh? Accident? Huh?
But there was a report that Colonel Sanders was buried alive in the trash pile.
Huh? Oh, that! You scared me. Don't frighten me like that, Keiichi-kun.
I was just kidding. I thought you might be struggling by yourself, so I came to help you out and tried to get playful. I guess it failed.
You came for me? Oh.
Well, I filled my quota for today. If I don't see Rena blush at least once a day, then I'm not getting my daily required nutritional intake. Just kidding. You're embarrassing me now.
So... Huh? What part was the joke? What part was it?
I just ignored her bewilderment. Okay, now move out of the way. So, where is Colonel Sanders?
Sorry. Can't you see him in that gap?
He's really buried in there. The Colonel Sanders was sideways, surrounded by boards and other construction materials, like they were caging him inside. According to Rena, it wasn't like this yesterday. It seems as though another illegal dumper came yesterday, dumped again, and now he's buried like this. You're trying to move this pile all by yourself? With those scrawny arms? There's no way she would be able to do that with her slender arms.
But Colonel Sanders, so cute. There's a chain on the Colonel Sanders at the store. This one, though, I should be able to take this one home.
If Rena gave up on this Colonel Sanders, she'll probably start devising a plan to steal the one in front of the store. As Rena's guardian, I won't allow her to sully her hands with crime. Out of the way. I'll do it. Rena blushed again, but this time I left it alone. The pile was enormous. Also, the more days we wasted, the more likely another illegal dumping would occur. If it got buried any deeper, there would be nothing that could be done.
Keiichi-kun, I'll help too. Let me help.
You just get in the way, so stay back. Pulling out scraps, bending them, tossing them aside. I quickly became covered in sweat and dust. Yeet! Flying objects drew beautiful arcs across the twilight sky, one after another. Lumber, timber, plywood. Damn it! No matter how much I threw out, there was still more! Even though I could see Colonel Sanders right there. After grandstanding like that in front of Rena, I felt frantic because of how little I had progressed. If I was going to do this seriously, I'd need an axe or saw or something.
That's enough, Keiichi-kun. You're so sweaty. You don't have to try so hard.
I'm just doing it for you, Rena. Don't worry about it. Rena began sputtering and turned beet red. Whoops. I meant to say I was trying my bestest to keep her from becoming a criminal. Oh well. Guess I just need a break. This is pretty tough. I sprawled on my back over the grassy slope.
I'm so sorry. You're covered in sweat. So not cute.
Rena patted her handkerchief against my forehead. It felt pretty nice. Well...
Well, wait here a minute, okay? My house is pretty close. I'll bring you some barley tea, okay?
Leaving the handkerchief on my forehead, Rena took off running. The cries of the Higurashi gently cooled the air. After I was certain that Rena was gone, I picked myself up and headed towards what I'd discovered earlier. That was a garbage pile of magazines and newspapers bound up in twine. Unless I'm mistaken, I believe it was around here. There it was. There were bound stacks of not so reputable tabloids. They were stacked chronologically, going back quite a few years. It was quite a disturbing incident. They still haven't found one of the arms. If it was just as Tomitake-san said, then undoubtedly there would be mention of the murder. These troubled times. There's no end to these sickening incidents. There's a large part of society drawn in by these incidents as well. So it had to be recorded. Somewhere. I unfastened the packages and opened the rain-soaked pages carefully, looking over the table of contents. Not here. Next one. Not here. Next one. It was hard to search since I didn't know when it had happened. I didn't know who the perpetrator or the victim was either. I only knew it happened here. I looked up every so often, checking to see if Rena had come back or not. I wouldn't want her to see me gawking at a dirty magazine, but it wasn't just that. Both Rena and Mion said they didn't know. But it had happened, without a doubt. As long as Tomitake-san wasn't lying, which I don't know why I haven't thought about that before, but anyway. And if both Rena and Mion... yeah, there was. Okay, then if both Rena and Mion...
Yeah, there was.
If they had just said that, I wouldn't have gotten so hung up on it. An incident that neither Rena nor Mion wished to talk about? Trying to uncover it after they tried to conceal it out of good intentions. It made me feel like I was acting against my friends. Hinamizawa dam worker lynching. Murder by dismemberment. Here it is. The featured article was in the back, and it seems that there was a photograph in the colored pages at the front. The pages of the featured article were stuck together and weren't easy to open. Rena could return at any moment. Feeling rushed, I gave up and opened the photograph page. The police investigators were carrying a body bag, and newspaper reporters were all bathing it in camera flashes. The image was blurry and hard to understand, but I could definitely make out the headlines. A tragic nightmare at the Hinamizawa construction site. Lynching and murder/dismemberment. The victim was the site foreman. He had assaulted his assailants daily with
an explosive backlash from his daily actions? It's a horrible image to see the site foreman as... It happened. It really did happen. It seemed the details were on the next page. I turned the page without pausing. On it was... The assailants butchered the victim's body with hatchets and pickaxes. Then used an axe to split the cadaver into 6 pieces. The head, arms, legs, and torso. I could understand just from the headline that it was just too terrible an incident. Normally a lynching is just assault and murder, right? Dismemberment with hatchets and pickaxes? It wasn't a lynching. It was a merciless killing to the letter, a brutal murder done by a group of people with hatchets, with pickaxes, with a hatchet. Sorry! Did I startle you? Did I startle you? Rena drops the hatchet she was holding onto the grass after being startled by my voice. Keiichi-kun, you see, earlier, you said it would help if you had an axe or something, didn't you? So then I brought a hatchet for you from the shed. Rena fluttered her arms in a panic, continuing to explain and apologize. It seemed I'd been glaring at her pretty intensely. I'm sorry. I guess my reaction was a bit overboard. No, I'm sorry as well. I'm sorry. Night was drawing close. I was pretty worn out, and it wouldn't hurt to do the rest tomorrow. Doesn't look like we can break that last beam without that hatchet. You brought it after all. I'll have to borrow it tomorrow, alright? Okay. Why do you look so glum? Tomorrow we'll be digging out Colonel Sanders, right? You're right. I really want to take Colonel Sanders home soon. We both knew that it was useless to apologize any more than that. I quenched my thirst with the barley tea Rena brought and wiped off the sweat that had now gone cold. We took the path to head home. I felt quite guilty about the tabloid wrapped up in my jacket. The plot thickens. Oh, hey, new tips! Okay. Looking at the time. It is 2 in the morning. For me. However, I do want to keep going. But I can feel my throat trying to give in on me from all the talking I've done today. So, I've got to do one more part. As soon as we get to another new tip screen, which basically means end of the chapter, basically. When we get to the next one, that is what I'm going to call it. There's way more hooks in the beginning than I thought. Or remember. After a certain point, though. After a certain point. Anyway, hydration check. Save your work. Stretch if you haven't in a bit. Let's look at some tips. I don't know why I said it like that. Anyway, the Hinamizawa Dam Project. October 1975. In accordance with the Prime Minister's Bulletin Number X, Hinamizawa's Electrical Development Master Plan was announced. The vast scope of the projected Hinamizawa Dam was to have an incredibly heavy impact on the village of Hinamizawa. The area to be flooded by the Hinamizawa Dam would include the 5 areas of Hinamizawa, Takasudo, Kiyotsu, Matsumoto, and Yagochi. The submerged area would include 291 houses. Population 1,251, 1 elementary school, 1 middle school, 1 post office, 1 agricultural cooperative, 1 forestry department lumberyard, 5 shrines, 2 temples, and 1 fishery. All of these communal, cultural, agricultural areas and places of worship were to be indefinitely submerged at the bottom of the artificial lake basin. Forsaking the hundreds of years our ancestors poured their blood and sweat into this fertile, resource-rich land was just too painful to bear. All the residents having homes that were to be submerged banded together and created the Onikakushi Guardians. The dam project was halted, and petitions to alter the plan were circulated. The citizens sought peaceful negotiations, but the government and its puppet company, X, openly refused. Performing unspeakable, heinous acts, they quashed the democratic actions of the villagers. But the villagers did not falter. Instead, they banded together even more closely and steeled their resolve to protect their homes to the death. The continuation of that frightening Hinamizawa Dam construction project is still stalled as of today. The villagers understand that the stalling was caused by sublime power through unity, and they understand that this fearsome plan has not yet been fully withdrawn. The Onikakushi Guardians had been dissolved after it did its part, but the feelings of unity it garnered have not yet been extinguished. As long as that passion resides in the hearts of the residents, they'll be able to confront whomever next decides to sink their homes into a lake basin. Onikakushi Guardians Committee Chairman, Kiichiro Kimiyoshi.
I mean, that is pretty fucked up to be like, yeah, we got all these towns and all these people living here, but fuck it, let's build a dam and get rid of all of that shit. It's fucked up. Anyway, special tabloid.
Nightmare befalls the Hinamizawa Dam. Lynching and murder / dismemberment. On X day of X month, in XX prefecture, at the Hinamizawa Dam construction worksite in Shishibone City, a bone-chillingly gruesome murder / dismemberment. Even though this case has shocked the archipelago, the police will give no details on the case. Exactly what happened at the Hinamizawa Dam. They probably didn't mean to kill him at first, but as the victim resisted by swinging around a shovel, the rest of the perpetrators armed themselves in return, and it quickly escalated to homicide. So said the aforementioned investigator A. After this bloodthirsty tragedy was over, they were left with a body which nobody could have mistaken as alive.
Willow? I'm trying to read something very tense right now. You're distracting me with your constant mewing. Like, what are you whining about? You have food and water. You're fine. You're fine. No nibbles. No nibbles. No nibbles.
After this bloody tragedy was over, they were left...
Tequila, you too. You guys know nothing about tension and flavor? Yeah, bear with me. I even tried dimming the lights in the room to try to keep Tequila calmer, but
Anyway, after this bloody tragedy was over, they were left with a body which nobody could have mistaken as alive. X-san had tormented the suspects daily with his rough behavior. At first, it was meant to be payback. All the perpetrators were horrified by their deed, and one even turned himself into the police. It was the de facto leader of this group, X, who suggested hiding the body. Reluctantly at first, they soon began to think they did not wish to be caught. Ow! Sorry. Apologies for the shout. My cat just took a chomp on my leg, and it hurt. You are not getting any more attention from me now. Don't even try it. She's got little needle teeth. Anyway, I hope that wasn't too loud. I'm sorry if it was. I'm so sorry. I don't know what's gotten into her in the last couple of moments. Maybe she's just got mega zoomies. She's got too much energy, doesn't know what to do with. I don't know. Hopefully she'll settle down and not nibble me again, because I've tried to work with her. I've worked with her on that. She's never nibbled me like that before, so I don't know why. Alright, let's see. Anyway. De facto leader suggests hiding the body reluctantly at first. They soon began to think they did not wish to be caught. The construction site had numerous places to hide the body, with 6 people. They were originally supposed to hide the body and leave the area. But the de facto leader feared that the consciences of the other 5 wouldn't be able to bear the burden. It came up with a horrifying method to keep them from turning him into the police. He devised the heinous method of splitting up the body among them and making each of them responsible for hiding a piece. X had turned a simple manslaughter into a gruesome dismemberment and forcibly involved each perpetrator in order to create a sense of unity between them. Each one participated. But what does this mean? Person A spoke out reluctantly. X had ordered each and every one of them to dissect a piece for themselves. They were hesitant at first, but nobody refused. In for a penny, in for a pound, was what it meant. Thus, an unimaginable, bloody ceremony began. The perpetrators wept and vomited as they performed the gruesome task. There was one person who stubbornly refused, but X threatened them, saying nothing would change if someone else ended up dead, and he gave up in his objections. But X's plan collapsed in the span of one night. X, who had refused to dissect the corpse up until the last moment, had broken down into tears at the hospital where he was being treated for an injury sustained during the scuffle and confessed. The criminals were arrested, one after the other, but the de facto leader, X's whereabouts, are still unknown. Also, the right arm hidden by him has yet to be found. Despite an ongoing search, this horrible individual has so far managed to elude law enforcement. What could the police be doing? It appears that X said he was going to throw the body, the right arm, into the swamp. And his car was discovered abandoned near the swamp, but there were no clues to his whereabouts. X didn't trust his companions. One cannot deny the possibility that he had expected his companions to confess to the police and used his car as a decoy. Of course, I doubt that theory. Since he has no car, one would expect him to have a limited area to which he could have escaped to. But within the station, there were rumors going around that he had accidentally slipped and drowned in the swamp when he went to throw away the body. To the locals, that swamp is believed to be bottomless. It's known as Onikakushi, the demon's abyss, and it's said that the bottom of the swamp is connected to the hellish world of demons. The atrocious demon from that hell was X. Could it be that he had returned to hell through the swamp.
The Ch.1 Dragon, bringer of luck and fortune, prosperous future, ladies leaping into your arms, business success, promotions, ambition, protection from harm. Not just with pachinko and horse races, but businesses and even love. Guaranteed or your money back. Ch.1 Dragon Bracelet DX, one piece. 27,800 yen. That was fucking hilarious. Oh, magazines. Alright, so yeah, one more chapter section, and then I'm gonna call it because I gotta rest my throat. I did not help it by yelling when I got bit just now. By a certain somebody who was now acting like she did no wrong. Brett. Alright, continue. Joy and merriment. Let's go. The function of this school as an educational facility is very questionable. Our PE class is exceptionally disorganized. The only things we do together are the warm-ups at the start. The teacher isn't even there after that. It sounds like honestly sounds like my gym class in high school. It's like as soon as warm-ups were done, just do your thing as long as you're exercising. You could just walk around the gym. No one would give a shit. Anyway, all we do is play together. Granted, that also led to me getting almost borderline sexually assaulted by somebody. And then me harming him in an effort to get away from him. And no consequence happening to either of us. So that tells you how much they were paying attention to us. Oh my god, it's bad. I'm no helping it. Everyone's a different age or gender. The only rule was that we had to stay on school grounds while exercising. All the little kids were gallivanting about. Yeah, kids are easy to please. Well, they certainly are being active. Might be getting plenty of exercise, but the Board of Education probably completely forgot about the school. Sorry to keep you waiting. We're all together now. What shall we do today for PE? All right. We have all our members gathered now. Now then, class representative, what shall we do for PE today? What shall we do? Mion harumphed and crossed her arms haughtily, surveying the area. Explosive power and endurance. There are no friends in the world of sports. Everyone is a rival. The only thing you can trust in is your own body. The heck do you mean by that? You really read too much manga. I quipped without missing a beat. And so, we'll be taking a lesson from history. The tried and true king of all outdoor melee events. Let's play tag! It was quite the adorable choice to make after playing it up so much. Just what I was hoping for. That dunderhead Keiichi-san will be the first one to be it. I won't be beaten. I'll try my best too. You can't beat me. Why are you guys all so into it? The third rule of our society. You must partake in the game, enjoying it without question. Then, this counts as a club activity? Everyone smirked at each other. They all seemed pretty confident. I'm a man. Physically, I should be able to keep up with any girls my own age. Sorry, that is turf logic. Regardless, Mion and Satoko looked like they were aiming for victory, and Rena was looking at me as if pitying my disadvantage. Fine. Tag. I'm in. My yell echoed across the school grounds. These were the rules. Anyone who was able to evade being tagged before the bell was a winner. But we didn't switch who was it. The ones who were tagged by it also became it. So the number of people who were it could increase exponentially. The endgame would become a hellish siege. We call this version zombie tag, you see.
I see. Anyone infected by a zombie turns into a zombie.
Why do you make it sound so scary, I wonder?
As soon as I catch Rena, I'm gonna tear out her entrails while she's still alive.
Gross! Keiichi-kun, that's gross!
Rika-chan placed her hand on Rena's head as she panicked.
Don't worry. Before Keiichi gobbles you down, I'll lift you up gently.
Rika, that
isn't comforting at all.
Both Mion and I nodded deeply. So the first it. How do you decide who's the zombie? With rock, paper, scissors?
Well, it is class time after all. Let's decide by answering questions. I'll ask the questions, and the one who isn't able to answer is the zombie.
I have no idea which grade level they're coming from. This could be a problem.
What does the Japanese word roku mean?
Huh? I was bewildered by the sudden question, and Mion repeated it.
So you need to answer. What's roku in English?
It's 6.
How about kutsushita? Socks! What's the third last letter in the alphabet? It's X.
What does saibetsu mean?
Of course I know what that is! It's...
Satoko cut herself off before finishing the answer. I see. It's quite a lewd question. You're an adult, aren't you? Of course you know what it is, right?
I certainly do! Of course I know!
Then go ahead and say it. That, you know. That? What does that mean, exactly?
Satoko looks like she's in trouble. How cute!
Don't take her home, it's a crime! If I didn't nip it in the bud, she really might have tried to take her home. Mion's pursuit was relentless, making Satoko stammer.
Now then, go ahead and say it, nice and loudly. What does that mean? I do know. I know. I do know. It's...
That means a previously indicated person, thing, or event.
Goddamn, Rika!
Huh?
Ah!
All of us were a bit surprised by Rika-chan's unexpected answer. I see. Well, it certainly is what that means. That could have been awkward. I wonder what I would have done in Satoko's position. I'd probably get ticked off and just blurt out, you know what, at the top of my lungs. I wouldn't want you as an enemy, Mion Sonozaki. I'm going to check something real quick. Hold on. What did she ask? Saibetsu. Okay. I genuinely don't know what that means, so I'm real quick gonna take a peek. Oh, right. Keyboard is off. Turn it back on. There we go. Saibetsu meaning. The fuck is Saibetsu Mona Lisa no Kimi-e? Kimi-e. Let's see. Saibetsu meaning in Japanese. What does Saibetsu mean in Japanese? Apparently it's just the word for gender. Is that what I'm seeing pop up? What does Saibetsu mean? Like sex gender. Lifelong separation. It might also depend on the characters. I don't know. That's it. You should not discriminate against people because of their sex. Yeah, it looks like the most common thing I'm seeing is gender. It could be because gender and sex are used interchangeably here, but I don't know. Maybe
like, cause saying gender wouldn't be that bad, but if they're looking for, like, the term sex, then that would make sense. I'm actually a little stunned that it's not that bad. I don't know. I guess I was expecting worse than knowing how to say gender in Japanese. Anyway, wouldn't want you as an enemy, Mion Sonozaki. Thank goodness you were born a girl. If you were a boy, you'd probably be a perverted asshole. Listen, this is gonna be a weird thing for me. You don't have to be a boy to be a perverted asshole. Oh, hold on, I just got a DM. One moment. Okay. Alright, I was just informed that it's okay for me to start laundry, so I will do that when we get to the end of this. If not sooner, it kind of depends on how long this takes. Anyway, yeah, you can be a perverted asshole and be a girl. Just saying. You could also be a perverted asshole and be non-binary. Like, perverted assholes are not separated by gender. It's just a thing you are. Anyway. And I'm not gonna lie, I genuinely think that Mion would totally be a perverted asshole. Despite gender. Anyway. It appears I have no choice. Unfortunately, I, Satoko Hojo, shall assume the role of the zombie. I shall eat everyone. Seems like she's raring to go. All I must do is count to 100, correct? Some jerks skip numbers while counting to 100, so you can start chasing after you solve this problem. Whoa, Keiichi-kun. Give her a simple one, okay? 1/5 of a cake, 1/6 of a cake, and 1/7 of a cake are all on a plate. Oh no. There are no common denominators! Satoko grabbed a stick in a panic and began drawing a cake in fractions on the ground. If Satoko, who can eat one cake in 60 seconds, eats all of them, how many cakes are left on the plate? Trick question. Just as I finished giving the word problem, Mion shouted. Ready, go! On Mion's signal, everyone but Satoko scattered. Keiichi-kun, that wasn't a problem at all, was it? Satoko had already lost the moment she started working it out. Okay, common denominators, gotta figure this out. She's eating it all, so of course there's nothing left on the plate. Everyone dashed off in a direction they thought was best. Knowing the lay of the land, they probably headed right to the best spots. It was obvious I was at a disadvantage. At a time like this, it would have been more effective to go along with those trained in survival skills. Like Mion, for example. The fact that I didn't realize it at the start of the game probably hurt my chances. Glancing back over the school grounds, I saw Satoko rising up to start. She was really, really mad. She got tripped up on such a dumb question. I stood at one of the corners of the school. I had clear sight lines in two directions and would probably have a good response time if any zombies started closing in. For the time being, I caught my breath and focused on what I was trained to think during club activities yesterday. Excuse me. Now think calmly, Keiichi Maibara. If I was it, what would I do? Increasing my numbers would be the shortcut to victory. Then going after the weakest player first is the obvious plane of attack, meaning me! Now then, where could Keiichi-san possibly be? I shan't let you escape. But of course, what would be the best method to track me down? Footprints or smell, or maybe some type of trail. If I could craftily hide my tracks, then there would be no trail for Satoko to follow. But I was no detective. Would I even be able to do that kind of thing in an amateur game like this? Tomita Okamura, have you seen Keiichi-san recently? What the heck? Do zombies hunt their prey by asking nicely where they went? Tomita-kun and Omakura-kun pointed to the location where I was hiding. After confirming she was headed in this direction, I abandoned my position. It wasn't easy to hide myself with all those little kids running around as they pleased. I was becoming even more obvious I was at a disadvantage from not being familiar with these surroundings. That's how it's going to be. Then to confront this intelligence-gathering zombie, I just counter in a similar vein. I approached some girls playing with a ball. I'm sorry, but could you relay this message? Tell Satoko Hojo that her parents are at the gate, please. Message. Okay. I stopped the girls as they turned the run off. Oh, wait, don't go yet. Also, take this one to Mion Sonozaki. Tell her the teacher is calling her to the gate. I'm quite the schemer, if I do say so myself. If things went well, then Satoko and Mion would run into each other at the gate. You're laying in the prey. It would put me at a disadvantage if more people were it, but this was Mion we were talking about. She'd figure out a way to escape. But that was just fine, as long as it bought me more time. That's for me, Mion and Satoko. In the palm of my hand. Having my fill of playing the con man, I looked for a place to hide. If you think about it logically, I'd only bought myself a scant amount of time. And it might even come back to bite me. Once it became apparent I'd started spreading false information through messengers, I could end up being the recipient of one of those messages. Satoko would probably ask the messengers to help her look for me. That would mean there would be more zombies than participants in the game. The virus that was brought about by mischief could... A virus that was brought about by mischief could cause an epidemic. All my classmates would transform into zombies. I would only be searching for me. This tactic might backfire horribly. While trembling at the thought of the impending dawn of the dead, I began searching for a safe house. Good taste, by the way. I found a shed by the incinerator behind the school. After climbing up to the roof, I held my breath. It wasn't a bad place to hold out. Not only did I have a good line of sight, but if necessary, I could jump off in 3 different directions to escape. It was getting rowdy down there. The lower grades were running around below the shed. My Bara-san isn't around. Is he over there? Nope. Where's Keiichi-san, I wonder? His dad is at the front gate. That was definitely a lie. The word gate, the same one I'd used, gave a hint of revenge. So Mion was behind this. I was still keeping one step ahead of the game. I felt bad for my underclassmen, but they'd have to search until the school bell. Hey, do you know where Keiichi-san is at? His mom suddenly got really sick. A message from my Bara-san. They said his house caught fire and he needs to come to the gate. A jumbo jet fell on top of the Maibara residence. The police have come to question him. Anything goes now. They say he enjoys peeping into bathrooms. Is it true that he's going around every night stealing panties? What are they talking about? I heard he wears panties on his head and smells them and stuff. No way I would do that. I heard that class representative Mion was a victim too. What? This is your doing, Mion. Calm down, Keiichi Maibara. This is Mion's battle tactic to flush me out. Just hold on. If my underclassmen thought about it logically, they would know it's all nonsense. But small kids don't think about things logically. To them, all of those things were true, so they all chuckled together while looking for me. I win, Mion. It's my victory. Wiping unrelenting tears away, I felt intoxicated by my own victory. Did you hear? I heard that the new transfer student Maibara-san is a really perverted person. The cost of beating Mion had too high a price. Oh, someone passed below. That's Rena and Rika-chan. Rika-chan, you're still okay? I'm getting by somehow. It seems Mi-chan is it as well. Mion? Couldn't be. She'd become it? Because of my little strategy? Discovered that Mion was behind this relentless message war. Then, this wasn't good. We finally got away from Mi-chan, but Satoko-chan, she's... Satoko is searching around the pipes, so we should be safe here for a while. Upon hearing that, I breathed a sigh of relief. While Rena was slumped on the ground breathing heavily, Rika-chan had started creeping up to her. Rika-chan doesn't normally make noise when she walks, but it's strange. It couldn't be. What? Rika-chan? What is it? What is it? Huh?
Don't worry.
I had never seen Rika-chan smile so creepily before.
Why are you coming closer? Why? Rika-chan isn't a zombie, is she? Don't be so scared. I'll be sure to eat you gently. No way! Rika-chan, no! Yeah!
Rena was pressed against the wall and Rika-chan lurched forward with both arms out, just like a zombie. Rena quaked with her back pressed up against the wall. It was quite a surreal scene of horror. One of those zombie breakout videos you see. Like Dawn of the Dead that I already referenced. At that moment, Rena's eyes met mine.
Keiichi-kun, save me!
Zombie Rika turned 180 degrees, exorcist style, and glared at me.
Found him! I see Kei-chan!
Mion popped out from behind the cinder block wall around the garbage dump, also seeing where I was. My position was only advantageous when there was one zombie. Being surrounded was not as good.
You said you located Keiichi-san? I could tell that Toga was rushing my way.
It seemed that Rika-chan had let Rena escape, and now she was baring her fangs in my direction.
Come on down, Kei-chan.
The three zombies circled the shed, moaning curses. You guys are scary! Too scary!
I wonder how Keiichi-san's guts taste. Keiichi-san. Keiichi, I want you to become one of us.
Someone please save me! I saw Rena apologizing to me from across the schoolyard. An apology. Sorry. Leaving me for dead. Rena! I leapt off the roof out of fear, slipping as I landed. Satoko and Rika jumped on top of me, and after straddling me, they tickled me all over my body. Stop! Ah! Got him.
So this means Rena is still left. There isn't much time until the bell.
Damn you, Rena! How dare you leave me for dead? The feelings of a zombie. I understood how vengeful ghosts with lingering regrets felt.
It's sad. So sad. But Keiichi is one of us now.
I felt like I'd been bitten by a vampire and was now one of their thralls. It was a strange feeling, being welcomed over to the side that had pursued me. Zombie tech is quite profound.
This is no time to postulate! We must capture Rena-san!
The principal is walking down the hall. The bell will ring soon. To devour Rena, I, who had been turned into a demon of vengeance, needed to use any means necessary. Except I wasn't just a zombie. I was a master of the night. A vampire. Using the same trick that had tightened the noose around my own neck, I used my classmates to further my evil designs. I gathered up the lower grades from around the school grounds. Everyone, listen! Rena's in big trouble! All of you, please, look for Rena!
It's a bigger problem than a jumbo jet crashing into your family's house?
Oh yeah, it had turned into that, hadn't it? Mion whistled nonchalantly, trying to avoid the blame. Yeah, it's not even in the same league as jumbo jets! What fell on Rena's house was a space colony!
A space colony?
Yeah, it's a really big disaster. Everything in a 100-kilometer radius was obliterated. But that's only the prelude to this tragic tale. This is the beginning. The start of a war for independence by the propaganda palady, that's the word, of Zeon! The lower grades were dumbfounded, their eyes like saucers at the grand turn of events.
Well, what will happen? Will the Terran Federation lose?
If things go on like this, they will. Only one person can defeat the Red Comet. And that person is Rena Ryugu. The lower grade students all gulped. It seemed I'd made them fully understand that the fight for Earth was lost without Rena. Now scatter, comrades! We must find Rena! My comrades in the lower grades let out an enthusiastic cheer and dashed off in various directions around the school grounds. There was still one person who hadn't gone.
But I thought even the Terran Federation's Impulse Wave Diffusal Cannon didn't work on the Comet Empire.
You're close. That's the white variety of those comments. The reason it didn't work is because they didn't know the weak point. Of course, Rena knows their weak point all too well. Ryuka-san is amazing. Satisfied with that, she also rushed off to look for Rena. It does seem like there are some promising up-and-comers amongst the youngsters.
Well, Kei-chan's abilities. This old man knows them better now.
It didn't really feel like she was complimenting me, but whatever.
Really though, how exceptional, Keiichi-san.
This looks quite promising.
If we have this many, we can win.
With this many, we will win.
I was thinking that Keiichi would have been a better nominee for the initial zombie.
Rika-chan's words stung a bit, but I'd let it slide for now. Not even Rena would be able to escape the entire class. As a result of everyone's thorough search, Rena was finally cornered in the back of the sports equipment shed.
You're all scary! Keiichi-kun too! So scary!
It probably was scary being chased around by the entire student body. All the lower grades closed in on Rena, saying she was the only one who could save the world.
What are you all saying? I can't control a mech!
Rena, how could you leave me for dead? Are you ready to pay for it?
I'm sorry about that, Keiichi-kun, but I didn't have a choice.
Do not resist. Let yourself be devoured.
Let's all be together.
Now, Rena, say your prayers. Rena had stumbled onto a mat, trembling with tears in her eyes. I closed in. Associating this situation with a similar, particularly immoral one made my pulse quicken just a little bit. Satoko and Rika-chan were both wiggling their fingers. They probably wanted to tickle Rena. Rena wanted no part of what she knew was about to happen, went stiff with fear.
Keiichi-kun, you wouldn't do mean things like everyone else, would you? Would you?
I wonder. Now then, are you ready?
Okay.
So long as it— Okay, girl, calm down. The face she made as she resigned herself to her fate made my heart skip a beat.
I believe that Keiichi-kun won't do horrible things to me.
Body won't move. That had to be some sort of anti-zombie mantra. The second my sense of reason chimed in, the beast inside me died instantly. There was the bell. Game over.
Yay! I did it! I survived! Yay! Star!
Rena pranced around merrily as if a curse had been broken. So daylight broke in the nick of time, and the evil zombie army disintegrated into dust. And so the heroine survived. Well, that's how it goes in the movies anyway. Yeah, last girl.
What are you postulating about? This is all because Keiichi-san was dawdling about.
Punishment is required.
I was subdued by Satoko and Rika-chan once again sentenced to death by 100 tickles.
Forgive me!
Then the award for surviving goes to Rena Ryugu and Mion Senozaki. Yay!
Huh? Mii-chan wasn't a zombie?
Only pretended to be one. They say you need to deceive your allies before you can deceive the enemy, you know. Mion, you little... Yeah, hurry up and change, alright? Don't be late for the next class. Let go of me, Satoko! Rika-chan! Laughing. Having had my fill of being terrified to my very core by club activities, I solemnly swore I would have Mion crying for mercy next time. Cute. Bell. Hold on, DM? Oh, okay. Not important. There we go. After arriving home, I quickly made preparations to head out once again. I had agreed to meet with Rena to dig Colonel Sanders out of that mountain of treasure from before. Mom, do we have work gloves? I need towels, too.
Aren't they in the shed out back? The towels are by the sink.
Alright, now I was ready. Looking at me, my mom stared quizzically.
What's going on, Keiichi? Where are you headed to in that getup?
If they come to dump again illegally, he'll be buried completely, and it'll be impossible to dig him out. And if that happens, Rena will undoubtedly go after the Colonel Sanders in front of the fried chicken place in town. A bit of excavating. So my classmate won't become a criminal.
Well, don't be out too late.
Mom returned to the kitchen with a puzzled expression still on her face.
What the fuck are kids doing these days?
Cutting through the woods as a shortcut to the dam site, I ran into someone. Hey there! Ominous cameraman. It was Tomitaka-san. Probably taking pictures of wild birds again with that precious camera of his. It couldn't be that all he took pictures of was the handsome young men in the twilight. Hey, long time no see. Keiichi-kun, right? My due regards. I expelled the rude imagery from my head and greeted him without inciting anything. By the way, was that girl an acquaintance of yours? He was probably asking about Rena. I'm guessing by the way Tomitaka-san was shaken up. What was that all about? She was walking around with a bared hatchet. And she was laughing with a huge smile across her face. That was Rena, without a doubt. I expect that she was grinning in anticipation of taking Colonel Randy. You mean Colonel Sanders? Or Randy? I guess, whatever. Anyway, taking Colonel home. I hid myself because I thought it might be dangerous. Should I call the cops to be safe? Well, it certainly would be quite the spectacle for a girl of her age to be roaming around with a hatchet. Tomitaka-san's reaction was the epitome of logical. It's fine, it's fine. Just leave her be. She's just wandering around looking for more victims. Tomitaka-san was alarmed by my cross response. It's probably hard for normal people to understand Rena. I'll just toss out a bunch of baloney. If you were to be killed out here, she'd probably be the one to do it. I try not to snoop too much around here. With a condescending smirk, I started off in the direction of the dam site where Rena was waiting. Before I got too far, Tomitaka-san abruptly called out to me. Keiichi-kun, is that meant to be a warning for an outsider like me? I didn't mean that seriously. I did try to make it obvious, but... I'll try my best to be careful. Leaving only those words behind, Tomitaka-san turned around and left. I didn't really mean to call him an outsider. I wasn't really implying anything when I said that. I only meant it to be a joke. It was only meant to be a joke, but I felt like I said something bad. Yeah, you gotta be careful about what jokes you use around others. Gotta think about the audience. Here we are. Hey, Rena.
Keiichi-kun, I was waiting for you. Let's try our best today.
I understood what Tomitaka-san was trying to say. Somebody gallivanting about while waving a hatchet around certainly would seem dangerous. You should put a cover on that hatchet when you have it in public. It's not good to carry it around in the open like that.
Seems that I lost it, so there isn't one.
Thinking about it, there really was no need to try to keep up appearances. Everyone in Hinamizawa probably already knew about Rena's eccentricities. She's probably the only person who could carry a hatchet around Hinamizawa and not be considered suspicious. Ah, well, let's finish this today. If we bust through this last beam, we should be able to pull him out. I've got everything I need. Leave it to me.
Okay.
I took the axe from Rena and made my way up the unstable slope.
Just wait, Colonel Sanders. Keiichi-kun will save you. Start.
Alright, get back. I'll finish this in one go! 3 goes later. Next go, I swear! A solid thwack rang throughout Hinamizawa, as if the job was being done by a lumberjack.
How is it? Think you can do it? If it looks too hard, you don't have to strain yourself.
If I can break through this, then we'll be good. I have plenty of power today. I can do it. But this adversary was more formidable than I expected. First of all, I'd never used a hatchet before. During a school camping trip, I wanted to split the wood, but I lost at rock, paper, scissors and wasn't able to do it. Because the spot where I was standing was so unstable, I soon became tired and decided to take a break. Rena had already spread out a tarp and laid down some tea and sweets. I'm fine. I'm almost there. I'll make sure Rena can give Colonel Sanders a goodnight kiss tonight.
Yeah, thanks. Giving Colonel Sanders a goodnight kiss. Oh.
Come to think of it, Rena, you're a transfer student too, right? Where did you live before? I asked her nonchalantly while drinking tea. I had thought she'd lived here all her life.
In Kanto. It wasn't as rural as it is out here, but it was still out in the countryside.
Why did you move here? To Hinamizawa, I mean. You know, this is pretty far out in the boonies.
Why did you move here? Does it have to do with your dad's work?
Dad said he wanted to relocate his studio. He'd been saying for a while that somewhere deep in the mountains like this would be perfect.
Studio? Is your father an artist or something?
He paints scenery. It seems that twice a year he opens a gallery for the stuff he does. When he started, his works were displayed in an industry plaza in Tokyo, but now they're exhibited in the Makuhari Messe. He's determined to have them displayed in the Waterfront International Exhibition Hall.
That's amazing! Let me see them next time!
I was too embarrassed to tell her that I didn't really know what kind of pictures my father had painted. Well, eventually I would. I picked myself up while giving some vague answers.
But you transferred in the middle of the semester, didn't you? Wasn't that a hassle?
Not really. I was getting bored of the city anyway. I was trying to get answers from Rena, but I ended up being the one giving out all the answers. With a bit of a wry smile on my face, I grabbed the handle of the hatchet and headed back to the worksite. The air grew colder as the sun slowly set. The Higurashi began their song, as if to tell me to stop and head home for the day. Just a bit more. Today, I would end it. When I first started, I chatted with Rena as I worked, but now I didn't have that luxury. Hurry-ya! Little... Damn it! I had swung the hatchet countless times today, just like this. Contact. Shards of wood splintered. The assailants butchered the victim's body with hatchets and pickaxes. I recalled that passage from the tabloid. One hit with something like this would smash someone's head in. Axes and pickaxes aren't not meant to be swung at people, ever. With one last swing, the beam cracked apart. The weight I put behind the hatchet not only split through the beam, but smashed the statue's shoulder as well. The arm came off with a sickening sound. It clattered down noisily, stopping at my feet.
What's the matter? Are you hurt?
Sorry, the figure's arm. I broke it off.
Oh, that's all? I thought Keiichi-kun hurt himself.
I probably had a really guilty look on my face. Rena said that without a hint of dismay as she smiled. We just need to tape it back on and put a coat over him. Nobody will even notice.
I see. Let's pull him out then. Can you get that side?
Okay. Or, I don't know who said what, but anyway. They still haven't found one of the arms. I laughed dryly at how pathetic I was for considering the arm flopping down and rolling to my feet to be such a bad omen. Both Rena and Mion knew how sickening that incident was, so they pretended that they didn't know. I had looked it up all by myself. And shamefully enough, I was scared. You're pathetic, Keiichi Maibara. Alright, Rena. Let's do this in one go. Ready? And...
Whoa! We did it! We did it, Keiichi-kun! Yay! The right time to give 3 cheers!
Sorry. The quote ended. The right time to give 3 cheers. That moment of 2 days of work bearing fruit. He who was brought to Hinamizawa covered in filth to meet his end. Instead, we were able to welcome him back. You're pretty lucky, Colonel Sanders. Your new master's a pretty decent person.
Aw, Colonel Sanders! He really is cute!
It didn't matter that he was dirty. Rena nuzzled him cheerfully with her cheek. I was dead tired, but seeing Rena's happy face made it all worth it. I'll help you carry it back. It'd be bad if it gets dark.
Yeah, right. I really want to thank you, Keiichi-kun. I won't forget this.
I'll think real hard about how you can repay me.
Well, I wonder what kind of repayment. I wonder.
For now, I just hold back my evil cackle. We were ready to take it to her house, but we couldn't go like this. We rolled the statue up in the tarp and lifted him. And so Jack and Jill went down the hill, carrying a human-sized bag and an unsheathed hatchet. I prayed that we wouldn't run into Tomitake-san. If he saw us here and took a picture, we'll need to get rid of him. Lol. Is that meant to be a warning for an outsider like me? Something struck me as odd about the words Tomitake-san, unable to grasp my sense of humor, had left behind. And then maybe don't joke about girls with hatchets killing people. Just a thought. Alright. So we're gonna look through this last tip. I'm surprised it's just one. And then I gotta call it. Because my throat do be feeling it. And I also gotta go, do a load of laundry before bed. Which will take, a couple hours. Alright, so let's do... What kind of name is Rena?
Rena's not here. Do you know where she is, Keiichi?
Huh? She was just there, actually. Hey, Mion, where did Rena go?
Rena?
Didn't she go to the washroom? She did say that she's been having bowel troubles lately. I hadn't heard anything about that.
Satogo, do you know where Rena went?
Rena-san, you say? I just passed her in the hallway. Rena-san has class duties today, so she's off to water the flower bed. Ah, it was Rena's turn for class duty. Sounds like a drag. Rena. Upon hearing it repeated, a thought came to mind. It's rude to say this about someone's name, but it was a weird name. It was like some foreigner's name. What kind of name is Rena, I wonder? What kind of kanji does her name use?
Rena is her nickname. She has a proper name as well.
What, really? I was sure that Rena Ryuga was her actual name. Well, I can understand you making that mistake since we only call her Rena-san. She even signs her name as Rena. It's like it's her real name in school. I wonder what her real name is. Let's ask her when she comes back. Satoko and Rika-chan looked at each other.
You don't need to ask her. We'll tell you what it is.
It's the Rei from Ore and the Na from Nara. Her real name is Reina. Her real name is Reina Ryugu. Reina, is it? So it's read out as Rena instead of Reina? That's a pretty interesting reading.
No, that's not it. Reina is the correct way. Reina-san had told us that she wanted us to call her Rena. So we call her Rena-san.
Ah, sorry. Kei-chan, Rena is Rena, you know? Only strangers call her Reina. There we go. You get where this is going? I understood what Mion was saying. It didn't matter what her real name was, only what names we used between us. Rena Ryugu is Rena. She's nobody other than that. So, I was thinking, if I had a nickname, would you call me by that? If it's good. So, what do you want to be called? Con Man. Sir. Rena then came back into the classroom. One of the juniors near the door told Rena people were looking for her.
What's this now? Who's looking for me, I wonder?
Seeing that, both Mion and I sneered. Bailiff Ryugu doth show herself. Conman, you are quite sinister.
What is this? Keiichi-kun and Mi-chan are an evil bailiff and a con man?
Damn you, Rena Nosuke Ryugu! Today doth be when thou meetest thy maker. Have at thee!
What? Suke-san, Kaku-san, show them what for?
Aye, aye, sir.
I expect my fee to be paid to my Swiss bank account.
Since it's come to this, we have no choice. Let's just have a grand battle with 5 people. Rena wins. Rena's fierce punches exploded just as soon as she had shown her seal. The evil that was Mion and myself was vanquished in the end.
I do hope that Rena goes on a journey to make the world a better place.
How about heading to Parliament first?
Spare me.
Spare me. I'll get cute stuff for you on my travels. The toll of the bell signaled that break time was over.
Come on, Keiichi-kun, Mi-chan. The teacher's coming.
I took Rena's hand and stood up. It was just as the teacher had entered the classroom. Just one more hour. Man, oh man. Gotta buckle down for one more. And that is gonna do it for now. For it is 3 in the morning, and altogether, it's been quite a long stream day. Like a double stream. No wonder I'm feeling it in my throat. So I really need to rest it. I'm hoping you guys are enjoying Higurashi so far. I am eager to get back to it. Though, of course, I will be getting back to Zenless first, because side quest stuff, like, I need to know how Billy and Seth's quests end, so I'll take care of those first. But I will definitely get back to Higurashi, as soon as I can. Maybe if I just need a chill day to where I don't have the brain energy to play, but I can read, yeah. But yeah, I will get back to this because this is what I want to do for an October special. So, and I'm hoping y'all can kind of pick up why. There's a little something going on here, a little mysterious thing. But yeah, for now, gonna go ahead and call it. I gotta go get going with laundry. Thank you to everybody and anybody who showed up. I hope folks had a good time today. And I am so eager to just continue streaming. I really do enjoy this. Even if I don't have much of an audience yet, I do enjoy this. So yeah. Let me go ahead and save. And we will call this. Alright. And also this will be a reference for me. This doesn't spoil anything, but there are 11 chapters. So, save it. Over... I'll put a space between. So, save over here. End of chapter 4. So that's how far we've gotten today. And trust me, we will be hooked. Once we get to the true meat and potatoes. We're getting glimpses. But I hope y'all enjoy it when we get to get to the, you know, the thing Higurashi tends to be known for. Again, if you don't know much about it, keep it that way. We'll see how things go. But also, if you don't want to wait for me to stream again to continue the story and you want to see where it goes, then this chapter of Higurashi is available for free on Steam. And honestly, installing the mod to get the version that I'm playing right now with the CGs and these particular character portraits and the aspect ratio and everything. That is actually super easy to install. There should be a guide for it somewhere. If I can find it, I'll link it in the Discord or something. It should be somewhere, though. I was able to find it just digging around a little bit. So, I don't know. I'll figure it out. But anyway. Alright, y'all have a great one. And we will continue this